What's up, fight fans? So we are back at it with another edition here at Round One Sports TV. I am always your host, Edwin. Where the real fight start? Round one. You know it. Listen, we got a lot to talk about, a lot to unfold here, a lot to unravel, I should say, with the consensus, which I believe is the number one pound for pound fighter in the world, Naoya the Monster Inoue. And I would like to know what you think about it. We're going to break down all these allegations against the man because you know the hate is real. The hate is real. So, fight fans, tune in, lock in, subscribe to the channel, become a Round One Sports Talk member. And like always, let's hop right into this episode. What's up, fight fans, man? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. What's up, Frontline? How you doing in the building? I'm gonna drop the link real quick in the chat uh early because I already can see it. I'm gonna go into one of my spills. I could see it early. So if anybody wants to jump up, Frontline, after the messages start coming up or whatever, if you could hop on and interact. And what's up, Johnny? Knockout music. We need round one versus low nose. Yo, listen. Well, it's just that here's the thing. Here's the thing, right? Here, let me fix my headset. Right? Here's the thing. Salute. Um uh Naldo, how you doing, brother? The thing here is this, right? I wanted to come on and quickly address a lot of these situations that are going on in boxing, right? And it seems like if they can't beat you in the ring, discredit or try to destroy everything you built. And that's the seems to be the what's up front line. That seems to be what's going on in a lot of boxing situations. Um, although which I believe here, let me put you up on the screen on the side here. Which I believe that David Allen Picasso put on a hell of a performance against the number one pound for pound fighter in the world. I believe. His performance should not be underlooked. Alan David Picasso went in there and he got an opportunity at four belts. What Naoya the Monster Inoue, um, what he offers to fighters is life changing situations. It's not like you achieve your dream and you come up the rankings and you win one world title, but on one night you have the ability to win all four. That would change your life. Now, quickly, a lot of discussion came out on the hand wraps with Naoya Inoue, and they made a lot of videos, and people saw like the flat part of the knuckle when they were wrapping it. And quickly they said, oh, he was making like a plate like substance on his knuckles. And that can't be further from the truth because as a fighter, I can personally tell you, you do not, and I repeat, do not want anything hard on your knuckles because that's going to slap back against your knuckles. And if Naoya Inoue was the type of fighter that was protecting his hands his entire career by wearing winnings boxing gloves and adding layers of protection onto his hands, it's also to protect his career, what makes him who he is, right? You do not want anything hard on your knuckles because every time you hit him, you're going to break your hand. Trust me. So why would he be going through such length and effort to go ahead and stack his knuckles? He's just going to go in there, throw 4 or 5 hard punches and break his hands. That's not going to work for you as a fighter. Okay? Now, what they were saying was in the fighter meeting, which I had the privilege of having one of the coaches that did go against Naoya the Monster Inoue and Hector Bermudez, and he stopped by. And if you would like to check out that video, I have a live on it on my yesterday's live. You could check out what Hector Bermudez had to say and his opinion or how he viewed the monster about stacking and things that go on in boxing and how he, because he's one of the closest people because he went against the monster Naoya Inoue with TJ Doheny. He was in TJ Doheny's corner. So he saw firsthand what the monster Naoya Inoue was about. And he said he's the real deal. That man is the real deal. Okay? And he tried to tell the world, yeah, there's such thing as double stacking and putting extra like tape on your wrist. And us from the Western, when we go out to Japan, we're going to bug out about that because they don't let our guys do it. But in Japan, both teams can do it. So it's about not breaking your hand. You understand? And throwing your punch with utmost confidence that it's not going to snap back. But make no mistake, the other guy can do it, you can do it. So when you put that on in Japan like that, does that give you extra power? Does it make you faster? Does it alert you when to throw a punch? Does it give you ring IQ? Does it give you footwork? Okay, so that's only one element of the fight that both fighters are privileged to. So there's no foul play. It's not like one guy was double stacking, the other guy wasn't. No. But once again, I would like to alert the public of what occurred in Riyadh. Naoya Inoue calmly took off his wrap. And what did he do? He wrapped them the way they suggested. And he went out there and gave a masterclass performance. And do you know what the boxing world came back with? Oh, he didn't knock him out. They ignored the entire fight. They ignored the performance that Naoya Inoue did. At times, he was playing with Alan David Picasso, trying to get him to open up more, allowing Alan David Picasso to hit him so that Alan can open up so he can get that big shot. But David Picasso didn't go for it. He stood the course. Man, he was stingy. He stood in that high guard. And shouts out to the young man. Look, some people don't like moral victories. Take it for whatever you want. But I'm going to tell you right now, Alan David Picasso survived Naoya the Monster Inoue. Now, although I don't feel like he won any round, same scenario with Edgar Berlanga and Canelo Alvarez. Same situation. I don't think Edgar Berlanga won one round, right? But a moral victory, we can, and then these other haters, you know what they do? Play the violin. Play the violin. Right? Because no longer can we give a fighter a moral victory. No longer can we give Isa Pitbull Cruz a moral victories for surviving with Tank Davis, which thank God that's not what the consensus say. The Mexican fans awarded Isa Pitbull Cruz. They awarded him. They showed that in his effort against the great big American knockout artist, you didn't get knocked out, brother. You were supposed to get knocked out, all 5'3" of you. But guess what the Mexican did? He showed heart, resilience, determination, and fortitude. And he took Tank Davis the distance. And for that, they awarded him. Now, in order for you not to back up your Mexican brethren in this fight, they're going to down him just not to give Naoya Inoue the credit that he deserves. So that you don't even look at the performance Alan David Picasso gave, so that you're blind to that. See, here at Round One Sports Talk, we talk of both sides. Both sides. I always told you that. We ain't biased. We ain't messing around. Those were two legit warriors in their prime out there rocking it, rocking out in Riyadh. And you guys heard what I guess the headlines were. The headlines read, "Who's Japan's best fighter?" Junto Nakatoni was on that card. And the Japanese fighter that fought, the Dominican fighter, Garcia. Wasn't he supposed to be the next Naoya Inoue? Right? It's tough being the top dog in your country. It's tough. But Japan, even though their young fighter lost, and I feel that Junto fight, by the way, who told you that the Junto fight, that he thought the Junto fight was going to be the toughest fight with Hernandez, Sebastian Fernandez? Who told you that? Round One Sports Talk told you that. That was my pick for the most dangerous fight on this card. Did I not tell you guys, fuck around with the Mexicans and go down there to that Tijuana bar and think you're going to pick out a undefeated fighter and think that he's a cherry pick? Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go out there. Smash that like button for me. Go ahead. What did I tell you guys? I told you, and everybody was like, "Oh, are you crazy? Junto's gonna fucking dog walk this dude, Hernandez. Nobody even knows who Hernandez is." And I said, that's exactly my point. That's exactly my point. I told you, it's those rarely, terribly unknown guys, them undefeated guys. Some of them suck, yes. Not all of them are the same. But when I saw Karen fight Jerron Boots Ennis, that was another case. That was another example of when a guy of hereditary unknowns comes out and tries to play spoiler, you know? So, hey, Frontline, can you do me a favor? Can you catch up on some of these chats? Let's start
I
now.
got you. Shout out to Naldo. He says, Saludo Corillo. Carlos, Round One Sports Talk, Fire. Mountain Man says, the reason why Picasso looked bad during Cometa fight was because he was also preparing finals exam during the Cometa fight. Picasso finished everything he had in school so he can focus solely on Inoue. R.I.P. R.I.P. says, yeah, I called that bullshit. Shingo was saying in the background, saying we already negotiated how the raps will be applied.
How is that
Kenyo,
bullshit? Stop right there. How is that bullshit? I would love for you, my man that just texted that. What was his name? Kenyo, you said?
Rip, no, Rip,
Rick? Okay, Rick.
Rip, Rip,
I,
R.I.P.
I have Rip. I have a video yesterday with Hector Coach Bermudez came on my show and talked about the hand wraps, right? And he talked about how no matter what they would have agreed to in the fight meeting, that the next day he was going to cause a scene.
Wait, I
He,
think you're mis. I think you probably misunderstood the way I read it
what do you mean?
because he said, "Yeah, I called that bullshit," meaning he called the hand wrap situation bullshit.
Oh, okay, yeah,
No,
because it was bullshit.
yeah, it was
Okay,
bullshit. Yeah, yeah, that's what he was trying to say.
okay. Okay, go ahead. Keep continuing.
Kenyo says, "Tell Mike he gotta see me next time you're on Nash live. Tell Mike he gotta see me in boxing."
Okay.
Then he says, "In a way, trash. Tell Ness next time you go live that Mike need to box me. Set up the fight for me and Mike from Omaha, or I'm unsubscribing."
I got you. I'm gonna go
Th-
in. I'm tomorrow. I'm on that.
then he said, "Fuck this, I'm out. Don't no one care about these little ass guys."
Wow.
Uh, Tony says, he replies to Kenyo, "You're what we call a casual." Cam says, "Round one. I think Junto won that fight, but it was a close fight, and I
Oh,
wasn't impressed with Inoue this time. But fighters have off nights. Salute."
salute. We'll talk about that. Keep
Craig
going.
Craig says casting is not. Casting is not something Inoue has ever done. Craig says those lower weight classes are entertaining.
Yes, they
Our
are.
Rip says thanks frontline because I clarified it for him.
Yep.
Jackson wants to know, is AJ injured? We'll get to that in a little bit.
And a little bit. Yep.
Craig says they mad because Haney has 45% knockout ratio. He needs a knockout real bad, along with Teofimo Lopez.
Mhm.
Here goes my number one hater. Bentley. No wonder Frontline been going at it with me in the comment section. This dude is a Mexican. Nah.
He's not Mexican.
Yo,
He's
hey
Puerto Rican.
Bentley, hey, it's all love, bro.
It's
It's all
all love,
love. I'm,
baby.
I'm
It's all
Puerto
love.
Rican. I ain't Mexican, but it's all love. You have your opinion. I have mine. Obviously, most of the shit I say, y'all have to understand. I do it to fuck with Edwin, to get under
With
his
me,
skin,
okay?
because I know how
Because he
much of a
knows.
fan
Because he
Inoue
knows. You
is.
don't believe half the shit he's saying. He's trolling. Frontline's almost 55% trolling when it comes to me. Trust me. He don't believe this shit about Bruce Carrington and Naoya Inoue. He don't believe none of that shit. But he's gonna get the hate spewing. He's gonna get you guys to talk. Anyway, listen, Frontline, go ahead. Read the last three right there.
um, let me see. Bentley. Okay, then Davis says they're going to keep running the raps narrative when Inoue moves up to 26 and is no longer stopping guys. Watch.
Stop. Stop right there. Okay. I had an eureka moment today. An eureka moment meaning that I kept thinking about Naoya Inoue's situation, and the only way I view it is for Naoya Inoue to go up. Why have I never thought about how about if these guys want to fight him, why don't they come down from 126? Leave your belt up there. You're gonna fight for 4 belts at 122. If you think you can beat him, Espinoza or Nick Ball or anybody else, I never ever thought of the possibility until today. I was sitting back and asking myself, and one of my comments, one of the guys that commented in my section, he's the one that triggered it. Why isn't that any of these guys are not coming down to him? And as far as the gentleman that said, the reason why they're avoiding Naoya Inoue is because these guys are in the lower weight division, and the glamour division does start from 130 all the way up to 150 in the heavyweight, right? Sometimes the middleweight, 160. Okay. But I told you that Naoya Inoue's star status might be strong enough to bend the needle. If he gets to 126, he can make that a glamour division and where that a lot of viewers would come in. I think his star status is that strong. But I had to answer that. Hey, we ever asked ourselves, why don't these guys come down? We're always wanting Naoya Inoue to go up. It's no problem for him to go up. And for Bam Rodriguez to come up, or for Junto to come up. How about somebody come down if you really want that smoke? What do you guys think about that? Go ahead, Bam. Finish reading the chat, please. I mean, Frontline. I called you Bam. I'm sorry.
That's
Frontline.
why I didn't say nothing.
Yeah, that's right. My
uh,
correction. My
uh,
bad.
Mio
All right.
says this is the best Inoue that he's seen. Mio said getting better with time. Bentley said it's all love for sure. Appreciate you, Bentley. Mio says more solid. Craig says love your channel.
Thank you.
Jackson said, is Crawford worth 100 million since all his fight lost money? We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it. We'll get there. We'll get to the Crawford. We'll get to
The
AJ,
AJ.
AJ, and we'll get to a couple other things. And anything you guys want to talk about in the chat, leave your comments in the chat. Frontline is going to get to you, and we will answer all your questions. Right now, we're talking about Japan's finest, Naoya the Monster Inoue. And now I got to admit that regardless of everything they're saying, you guys have to pay attention to what they're not saying. When boxing is aiding and coming behind a fighter, you will see that they will go to no length to promote that fighter. I guess Naoya Inoue doesn't fit most criterias, and people are trying to like block him because they don't want to believe what he is.
Wait, hold on,
And
Edwin. Hold on. Let's
yeah,
debunk this once and for all.
let's go. What is it?
What
Where's it
weight
at?
division? No, no. What weight division did Inoue start in?
108.
Okay. How many belts did he win at 108?
You only have to win one belt to be a division champion. It doesn't matter how many you win.
Okay, so, but how many belts did he
One,
win?
one.
Okay. Then from there he moved up to the next weight class, right?
He moved up to yeah.
Okay. Did he win any belts there?
Absolutely.
Okay. How many won that one? Just one?
Jet, hold on. Let's not guess anything. I just want to be 100% accurate when it comes to talking to the champion about the undisputed champion. We want to give him his just dues and make sure that I have every cross all my T's and dot all my I's. So, um, he jumped up. He fought at the 108. He
Right.
challenged the fighters at 112. What happened was he couldn't get a champion to fight him at 112. So Naoya Inoue train didn't stop moving. What he decided to do is to jump up from 108 to 115 and challenge the world champion that's been champion for the past 4 years and never knocked out in his career once, and Jamie McDonald. So what
Okay.
he
So
did
that's two weight
was,
classes right there.
yes, he did some Terrence Crawford shit. He
Okay.
jumped up and just fought, not an undisputed champion, but a
No, but
champion.
he's still a champion at that weight division. So okay.
Yes,
So we're talking right now. He skipped 12, went straight to 15.
yes.
So he got 108, 112. That's
No,
two
he got
weight class,
108,
two
150. He got 108,
and 115.
115.
Right.
Yes,
So two weight classes, two title belts.
yes,
Okay. Then he went to 18, I'm assuming, right?
yes.
How many belts did he win at 18?
All four, but you only
Okay.
need one. Yep.
Okay. So he's so a two division champion.
A three. By
Or
118, he was a three.
hold
He
on,
got a
hold
guy
on, hold on. No, 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 no,
108,
no. Hold on. Hold on.
115, 118.
108, 115, he's a two division champion.
Yes.
118, he's an undisputed champion.
Three division champion.
Well, a three division champion, but 118 is undisputed.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, then from 18 he goes up to 22, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so he's a two division undisputed champion and a four division champion.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes. Yes.
now, not to mention this kid fights four times a year, right?
Yes.
So his
And he,
activity is up.
yes. And he is
So,
currently, hold on. He is currently Japan's um uh only champion in the super bantamweight or bantamweight division ever in Japan to become unified, undisputed. There's no champion in boxing in Japan history that's ever been undisputed. So he's the
right,
first. And he's
okay.
the first in super bantamweight history since the invention of boxing. We have
Wait,
never had an undisputed champion in the super bantamweight division. Never.
all right. So, all that being said, he's a four division champion, a two division undisputed champion. How
Yes.
many title defenses does Naoya Inoue have in
Naoya,
total, including the ones he was a single belt holder in?
okay, that's a little tricky. He's been in 21 title defenses. He's been in 26 world champion fights. Meaning, um, when he came in 21 title defenses, he was the champion coming into the fight, or a champion or fighting to unify, but he had champion belts. And 26, there was a few times he entered the fight, the contender. When he entered the fight against Stephen Kubo Fulton, he was the challenger. He
Right,
was getting the opportunity to fight
because he
for
was
two
moving up in
belts.
weight.
Right. So
Correct.
when he
Yep.
moved up with Jamie McDonald, he was the contender because he
Hmm.
moved up in weight. So
Right.
he's had 26 title fights, but he has 21 of them where he was the
Defense.
champion. Yes.
Gotcha.
And in
Okay.
those 21 fights, he knocked out 16 of the people. He
Okay.
faced 15 world champions. He knocked out 13 of them.
Okay. Now, let's compare him to active
Huh?
Active fighters right
Yes,
now. Who's
yes.
doing shit like that right now as we speak?
Technically, if you want me
Te-
to be honest,
Nobody. I'll say it
nobody,
for you. I'll say it for you. Nobody.
nobody.
So, with all that
No.
being said, I know I bust your balls about in a
Yep.
way that Shushu beat him and shit like that. But with that aside, which I still think Shushu beat him, but that aside, how can he
Yep.
not be considered a pound for pound fighter? You you
Uh,
you
the-
you
yeah.
get where I'm going with it?
Yeah. I get it. What sometimes the boxing world, we're led by machismo. We're led by the biggest. Okay. The heavyweight is the greatest belt because it's the biggest of the biggest men. When you get big men, they don't respect too many small skill guys. It's kind of like John Jones and Mighty Mouse Dimitri in the UFC. John Jones does not, look at Demetrius Johnson as a real threat, but Demetrius Johnson is way more skilled than John Jones. John Jones is bigger. That's where we're at in boxing. Same situation that the bigger guys don't view the smaller guys as a real threat. Although you might be really skilled, Bam Bam Rodriguez, there's guys like AJ, Dante Wilder, and fucking Usyk, and they're like, yeah, you're skilled, but you're still little the American way. The problem with Naoya Inoue is that he was started his career at 108. As soon as you say his weight class, that's it for us Americans. We everything in America we want bigger, a bigger house, a bigger chain. That's how we're bred. More. You need excessive more. You don't need one car, you need 10.
You don't want a medium soda. You want a big gulp. You
I
want a
love the
super
big goal,
size.
right? I don't want a small house. I want a big house with only four of us living in it with 15 bedrooms.
You don't want
The
a small ass. You want a BBL, right?
That's it. The American way. The American way. Trust me. That's how we're bred. That's how we're molded. Okay. We're not easily impressed because of your size. But when it comes to pure skill and the understanding of boxing, when you watch Naoya Inoue fight, you see what I see. You see real skill, talent, superiority, ring IQ, fundamentals. You see it all. And although you're putting every time you enter the ring, what are you doing in fact? You're challenging all styles, all competitors, all different ways of life. And each challenge presents its own unique challenge. It seems like the boxing world sometimes is swayed by just shit talking, and they no longer are starting to see real skill. I defend this man and I back him because I see real skill. When I watch Naoya Inoue, I got to admit that's a hell of a fighter right there. Yes, there are multiple fighters and you can have your selection. No problem. There's nothing wrong with that, right? But I don't need to down your fighter to boost mine up. Here at Round One Sports Talk, we boost up all fighters. And although we get into arguments and have our debates and put down here and there, because I've been known to do it, okay, I still respect every man and woman that takes that opportunity to lace them up and to go out there on a world stage and to put it all on the line. You think that's easy to get knocked out in front of your girlfriend, in front of your mother, in front of your kids? You think that shit is easy? You think that shit is easy going outside next day after they got your shit on a fucking highlight reel memes of being knocked out? That takes courage. That takes fortitude. That takes will. And it takes balls to pull it off. In a win over a loss, I commend every man and women that go out there and fight. Fighting is a real art. And I always want to find out who's doing it the best. Naoya the Monster Inoue, I think, is doing it the best right now. Terrence Crawford pulled off some unique shit, but Father Time is not on his side. My brother might have lost a step, but he's still fucking dangerous. Terrence Crawford, you're my dude, bro. I love you. But like everybody in the sport, Father Time catches up to us and the next new thing becomes the next new thing. I believe the only man respectable, respect to all fighters. I believe the only man worthy enough to snatch the torch out of Terrence Crawford's hand, and I did use the word snatch because that's the only way Naoya Inoue was going to get it out of that man's hand. There is no way on God's green earth you were going to tell me that Terrence Crawford was going to respectfully say, Naoya Inoue, you're the next. No, he's going to give it to an American fighter, which he should do. Respect to Terrence Crawford. He should give it to an American fighter because unlike Floyd Mayweather, when Floyd Mayweather came through, I think he made a mistake just because he was promoted with Oscar De La Hoya and he was sucked into the Mexican way that even when he beat Saul Canelo Alvarez, he gave him the torch. He passed it to him, right? So Terrence Crawford knew that Floyd came back and said, I think that was a mistake. And he tried to give it to Tank again, right? But he had already blessed Saul and Saul took off with it, right? So Terrence, now it's rumored that I think if Shakur Stevenson beats Teofimo Lopez, he's going to respectfully so pass it down to that man. And he's going to have a big responsibility. You know, the man that carries that torch must carry boxing. You can no longer play with boxing. It can't be a guy that's all over the place. He has to be pure. It has to be somebody that was worthy of passing the torch to. So be careful who you give it to, Mr. Terrence Crawford, because you have it right now. Although
Let me
I've
catch
talked,
up with the chat, Edwin.
yeah, go ahead, brother.
I left off. Well, we'll talk about Crawford later. Mountain Man says you guys are entertaining. Crest says Inoue versus Espinoza is the right fight to make as a huge Inoue fan, provided Inoue wants that fight. Mountain Man says Inoue and Carl Frampton have the same dimensions, right? He's asking a question. And
Yep.
then he says Carl Frampton said Ball beats Inoue.
Wow. Stop right there. Stop right there. Stop right there. Ball beats Inoue. Really? Really, my man?
No, that's
Okay.
what Carl Frampton said.
Okay. Carl Frampton. Listen. Respect. Respect. I respect your pick and everything. But I just want you to just to break shit down. Remember, Naoya Inoue beat the shit out of TJ Doheny. What did your boy Nick Ball look like against TJ Doheny? And remember, the fighter that avoided Naoya Inoue was Sam Goodman. Sam Goodman legitimately gave Nick Ball run for his money. And I believe in that 11th and 12th round, if Nick Ball didn't bite down on that mouthpiece, congratulations to Nick Ball too on that fight, because I can't ignore what he did. He fucking fought at the end at the championship rounds like a champion against Sam Goodman. I think at the end, that's what won him the fight. But Sam Goodman was fucking piecing Nick Ball up. So if he was hitting Nick Ball like that frequent, and TJ Doheny was hitting Nick Ball that frequent, it just look what Naoya Inoue did to TJ Doheny. He nearly broke his back. That man had to leave. Okay, that's how hard he was hitting him. And I'm gonna tell you right now, your boy Nick Ball looked small against TJ Doheny, but he did. Naoya Inoue didn't look that small against TJ Doheny at all. At all. So size difference. I think that Nick Ball, strong fucking fighter for his what he pulled off in his career. Fucking my respect to Nick Ball, bro. Fucking you're something else. I still got Naoya Inoue in the fight, and I got Naoya Inoue stopping him late. A little late, around 6-7. I still got him. So I'll see you then when the fight happens. Mr. Miyagi with the 10 piece. Peace, peace. Yo,
Let me
listen.
scroll up and read that for you real quick.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. I'll put it on the screen if you want.
I got Edwin Nesh really throwing shots out everywhere, even Bam getting strays. This is what the problem with the American boxing scene. No wonder so many boxers just want to make money fast and get out.
Yeah,
A
it's
hundred
because
percent facts.
100% facts. Because now he's like accusing Bam Rodriguez. Why haven't you called out Naoya Inoue? Maybe because he's 2 divisions ahead of him. Maybe because Bam Rodriguez is trying to take care of business in his own division. You think that Bam Rodriguez needs to call out Naoya Inoue because what? It's what everybody else is doing, following the train, the hype. If Bam doesn't have any intentions on doing that, at least he's staying pure. He's not
Yeah.
calling out a man he doesn't want to fight.
I got a bullshit question because it seems like the casuals are the ones that insist in this.
What's
They
that?
like the between 130 to heavyweight in regards to boxing because you get, I guess, more knockouts or whatever.
The glamour, yeah. But not so much the
But
cruiser, not so much 175, not so much 178 or 168. It's
yeah,
never been
but
that good.
I challenge anybody in the chat that's listening or anybody that watches this later on. Watch a lower weight class
No,
fight versus a regular fight, like from 130 and up.
no, what's gonna happen is
You
don't do
would be
that.
you would be more entertained
Don't
with
do
the
that,
lower weight
frontline.
classes.
No, don't do that, frontline, because and then they're gonna find out what boxing is.
But that's my point
They're gonna
because
find out what boxing really is. If they start
it's
watching these little lower guys, they're gonna see real skill.
it seems to me like they're more worried. I mean, even with the heavyweights, you can watch a heavyweight. I'll tell you what, watch a 12 round heavyweight fight versus a 12 round, I don't know, bantam or minimum weight or whatever. Watch those two fights one after another. I guarantee you a heavyweight fight will put you to sleep versus a lower weight class, because the lower weight class they throw more volume, they box better. The heavyweights is they trying to knock you out. But that being said, let me get back to reading the chat. JWC says, I remember him using Reyes gloves in some matches, horsehair gloves. Javi
Stop,
says the best.
stop, stop, stop. Um, Naoya Inoue wore winning boxing gloves until one guy challenged him in that. Nonito Donaire. Nonito Donaire felt like if he wasn't, you know, forced to use the winning boxing gloves, that he would have knocked out Naoya Inoue with that punch. The time that they asked Naoya Inoue to wear Reyes horsehair gloves, that was a big mistake. Ask Nonito Donaire in the second fight. Look what
No,
happened.
that's what JWC said. He said he
Yeah.
remembers him using Reyes gloves in
Oh, you don't want
some
Naoya Inoue
mentions.
using Reyes horsehair gloves. Don't do it. You the reason why you don't want it, one, he's gonna punch hard, two, he's probably gonna break his hand. So I don't want to see him out of boxing. I want to see him in boxing 4 times a year. By breaking his hand, you're gonna take him away from me for 2 more matches. I don't want that. I don't want Naoya Inoue to put on horsehair gloves just to prove he can knock this guy's head off. Fuck that, Naoya Inoue. Don't listen to these people. Yo, box the way you're boxing. Do what you got to do. Protect your career, your hands. I don't care what any of these people are saying. That's hogwash. I know you got over 40 something knockouts in the amateur, knocking dudes out with headgear and 16-ounce gloves. I already knew you punch hard since a child. Naoya, anyway, you got this is these guys making up these hype shit. You see what I'm saying? But that horsehair red, yo, bro, you don't want that shit. I'm trying to tell you. Do not make this Japanese dude put on horsehair gloves. He's gonna hurt somebody. Continue. What's up? Oh, frontline. Somehow I lost frontline. There he is. And then I picked up Hugo. He was a hitchhiker. Frontline. Hugo, don't say nothing. Frontline, read the rest of the chat.
Let
Hugo,
me
my
check.
man. Go ahead, frontline.
Hold
Frontline, you
on,
there?
I'm trying to go back because I got booted out for some odd reason. I think Hugo did some heebie-jeebie shit.
He did. He tried to take your spot. That's what I'm saying. Go ahead, frontline.
Javi says the best Inoue he's seen was against Fulton. Fee
mm,
says rap stuff is all stupid, doesn't help much. If you really want to hit hard, just use the horsehair gloves. Like Cleto Rey is not winning. Jackson says Inoue should bring Tank down to 27 for a super fight.
Damn.
mm,
Slore says Naoya kept shaking his right hand all match. Looked like it was uncomfortable or maybe hurt his hand. Uh,
Maybe.
mm,
Craig, he
I see
corrected
right.
us. He went from 108 to 115, which we talked about.
Yeah.
mm,
Coy says Inoue shared at medias that he got pissed off at Picasso. He said Picasso was the worst opponent who was rude to him and has manners.
mm,
Coy
Ooh.
says so Naoya will forget about him with no time as Picasso is junk. Jackson says Inoue should bring Pitbull down to 28 and fight him on Cinco de Mayo.
mm,
God damn.
Mayo Mountain Man says Inoue sparred with Hernandez and Ohashi said that he sparred Naoya for 3 to 4 rounds and was no match for him, but he
Right.
pummeled everybody else at the gym. None of the punches that hit him affected him.
mm,
Coy says, and Naoya's trainer is his dad. Eva-
Yeah.
Hold on, damn, the chat keeps going crazy. It keeps bringing down. Evaluated the Naoya fight was no comment and needs to discuss about the way he fought with Picasso.
mm,
Low key says, why pit bull? Plenty of smoke at 26 and 30 from Mexico.
mm,
Coy says, I have some suspect thoughts about Arab's venue. Coy, I am with you 100% on that one. Seems
mm,
not legit. James says, I ain't seen media showing Picasso disrespecting anyway. Maybe he did to see if he threw the monster off. It didn't work. Jackson says, Inoue is a small big man. Um, Jackson also said, Inoue versus Tio is my dream fight. Mark said, he replied to low key 126, lots of talent and bigger fighters such as Espinoza, Ball, Carrington, Leo, Alim, and Pierce, etc. Boy, but
mm,
American tends to be killing bigger things, but it started shifting it smaller and smaller, like cars and apartments.
Mm.
Low key replies
mm,
to Mark saying exactly he wants Pitbull to come down to 28. Legendary said most people don't know shit about boxing.
mm,
Koi says real skill is the definition of Inoue. He is the best on the planet. Mr. Miyagi replies and said what Hernandez was punching up Inoue.
mm,
Low key says Teal versus Matias has been my dream fight. That's low key that says that. Mark says, replies to Jackson says, in a way, would solidify his status at 26 as one of the GOATs. Don't need to move up much for a fantasy shit fight.
mm,
Coy says, think American fighter is weaker now that they don't want to hurt on box, but want to get money though.
Mm.
mm,
Craig says, very well spoken. It doesn't take guts to get in the ring, knowing you might become a knockout meme.
Mhm.
Koi says, while Japanese box is fanner, if you like a real fight, Americans or Hispanic ones just want money.
mm,
Mark replies to low key, but Pitbull at 140 right now. I don't know if he can make 28. Saulo says Southpaw added again with talking shit about Inoue. I read Mr. Miyagi's super chat. Legendary says he's obviously just supporting his mate. Coy said Hispanic boxer is nicer than American ones in terms of boxing style, but Hispanic complain their opponents when they lose the fight. LOL. That's lack of class.
But stop right there. Stop right there. Stop right there. Stop right there. You guys want to talk about Puerto Rican fighters? You guys want to talk about Puerto Rican fighters? Then let's talk about Puerto Rican fighters. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna put
Well,
up
he
a
didn't say
Puerto
Puerto
Rican.
Rican.
Hold on, hold on.
He said Hispanic.
Hispanic. Okay, okay. Well, I'm gonna take it as Puerto Rican fighters, right? So we're gonna throw something up on the board here, right? And I want you guys to take a look at this. I'm gonna put up a Puerto Rican fight right now. Hold up. Do I still have it? Hold on. Yes, I
mm,
do. Let's take a look at this action here. Puerto Rico right here fighting, and let's take a look at his form and how he threw the punch. Okay, let's check it out. Let's check it out.
mm,
Here we go. I want you to look at the screen. Oh, wait a second. Wait a second. Hold on. Okay, okay, wrong screen. Hold on. I got it. I got it right here. We'll just We'll just replace that screen with this screen. Okay, here we go. Check it out, guys. Bingo! Oh shit! It might be a different sport, but check out my little Puerto Rican dude right here on the NBA basketball court. Big man. I had to
Mm.
put this up. I had to put this up. Here we go. We're gonna play it.
That was the perfect pause right there.
They're both.
Where the guy threw the first punch at Jose, and the
Yeah.
little guy held his own. Little man held his own. So you know what I'm saying? Hey yo, hey, his
Let me
technique. Go ahead, brother.
let me
Where the
finish
hell is
reading.
my?
We left off with the Hispanic boxer. Nice. Okay, lack of class. Okay. Niang Cheng says, "I love this channel. No sugarcoating about boxing. You know what I'm saying." Koi
Mm.
says, "Agree. American ones are boring." Mark replies at Carl Frampton, "The one who ducked Rigondeaux, I guess that's the name, is in his
Rigondeaux.
prime. Rigondeaux in his prime. That man talking and hyping a lot of Nick Ball. LOL." James says, "After Bam gets undisputed at 15, he'll move up to 18 and beat Inoue's brother for the WBC belt,
Mm.
building up the fight at 22." D1 says, "What up, Edwin? Brody, frontline, what up, fam?" Mio says, "Divino's a weight bully." Coy says, "Boxing can't make money unlike baseball, so risky sport. So try should get more than they get, I guess. Look at Otani." Legendary says, "Casuals call for Inoue versus Tank more than anything." Mio says, "That guy should be fighting three weight classes above minimum." Mark replies to James and says, "There's a lot of dangerous fights for Bam at 18 and 22. Stop putting his name. Bam not even on the same weight as Inoue." Low key says, "Facts." Koi says, "Don't get why people want Inoue to move up. He had moved up four divisions, if my memory is correct." Yes, you are correct. James, Inoue is at 22, weirdo. James says his brother's at 18 as WBC champ. Coy says each person has the right division. For example, can Canelo move down to 22 or below? Question mark at Coy, because Inoue got skills to compete everybody. I believe the max out is at 26. If up to him, he'll move up further after that. Mr. Miyagi, don't know how people are saying the lower weight class is not punching like that. I've watched so many lower weight fights. People forget about Venado Lopez, Yabuki, Donaire in his prime, Christian Medina, etc.
Mm.
Coy says he is about right at below at 22. D1 says, "I've seen a lot. I've seen the shot. Monster broke his hand with guaranteed his shit hurts." Where we at? Legendary. How can Tank go to 28 when he missed weight as champion at 30? WMS says round fucking one. Nia Ching, why everyone want to see Inoue the Monster lose? LOL. Craig says Inoue went up five divisions so far. The reason I want Inoue to move up is because Inoue had said himself he wants to fight at 26. I want Espinoza next because it's the hardest to make. Mark responds to Craig, "Agree with you. Keep telling this 126 lacks of talent right now." Mr. Miyagi agrees with Mark 100%. Mr. Miyagi, 126 is deep at the moment. QS in a way is good. I think he can handle 126. In a way is good. I think he can. Okay, he wrote it twice. Low key says he got a purple face crying. Coy, no, I meant to mention about Mexican. He wasn't talking about Puerto Ricans. QS says in a way is good and should be able to handle 26. I like Mike on Dodgers, says Coy. Low key GTA. Anyway, gonna take. I don't know what the hell that's. Merit. Sorry to say that. Okay, Mr. Miyagi. Another super chat says, "I would like to see Inoue get 3+ months of training in America with Tank to perfect slip countering, because that is one aspect that he didn't use very much against Picasso and will be needed at 26." Coy says, "I think if you have a huge gap in terms of height, that wouldn't be fair, although they are same division." Suckers watch out says, "Salute. Smash that like." QS Bam needs to move up next fight or something because if not, then he might not ever get the Inoue fight. Miro says I like to see Inoue against a 42-year-old Rigando, whatever the fuck his name is. Mio at 122. Donaire had a vicious left hook that will KO guys out cold, says QS. Mio says everybody talks shit about Rigo, but he KO'd a young fighter to the body this year. And then the last one is Kenyo Mike from Omaha. Where you at? He's still trying. Hey, I thought you was unsubscribing because I just say he's gonna work on that for you. He's gonna hook you up with the he's gonna talk to Ness about that to get you that fight.
Mm.
Bull
What's up,
Rider.
Frontline? How you doing, Frontline?
What's
What,
up?
Papa?
Another day in paradise. Where Edwin go? He got disconnected on his own show.
I don't even know, brother. I don't even know. But what's up, though? What we talking about today, brother?
We're talking about all the backlash that Inoue's getting. Um, we're not giving him credit because I mean he's called the monster in a way,
Mm,
but people are saying they don't see him as a monster because he couldn't knock out Picasso,
mm.
which is further from the truth because as everybody know, Mexican fighters they're hard to knock out. Period.
Yes, sir, they are. Of course, they are, and they pick up a. They give a great battle. But no, yeah, I mean that's definitely a lot of backlash going around the internet. That's definitely something I am seeing. I'm also seeing that people want Inoue to start coming to America and doing his training camps over here, so we could put that fool on a drug on a VADA drug testing randomly. They want him to do that the blood work, and they want him to do the urine sample
Yeah,
because
but
this is a
but
lot of
hold
fishy
on,
things. But there's a lot of fishy things that's going on over there in Japan. He's well loved over there, and he's well protected. So people are
but
starting to get a clue off that front line.
you're
They're,
wrong. You're
all
wrong.
right, how am I wrong, brother?
Every champion, no matter where in the world you're at, you get drug tested. VADA's only in America, but other countries have a similar or same type of athletic testing for steroids.
When was the last time you seen someone other than Vada pop someone dirty?
Oh, I don't get into the politics of boxing. I mean,
No, 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 brother. But let's be logical here. When was the last time that anyone else has came out with a report that says someone other doping agency has caught someone? Isn't it
what?
always VADA, the voluntary anti-dope agency, that's always catching people? Am I right about that?
I guess I don't. Like I said, I don't follow that stuff because that's
Brother, you follow Ring Magazine, you follow Mike Carpenter, and you follow all the major
who
boxing outlets on
who
Instagram. Don't
who's.
cap.
Bro, I don't even have an Instagram account. I don't do social media. This is the only thing I do is YouTube. That's it. I don't do social
Well,
media.
well, for everyone in the chat, tell Frontline who is the one that's popping all these boxers for PEDs. It's
Who?
Vada, my brother. It's
Okay,
Vada.
so let's say
It,
it is VADA. I'm sure VADA
okay.
has offices across the world, not just in the
Okay,
country.
but the United States is the one that enforces BADA the most. So that's why when Floyd Money Mayweather said, "You know what, Pacquiao, you want to fight me? Bring your ass to United States. I'm gonna put you on BADA 365, and we're taking blood and urine from your ass. And you ain't training nowhere else in the world. You training here in the United States." And that's when Manny Pacquiao was like, "Well, I'm afraid of needles," or like some bullshit excuse like that. So that's people are catching up, brother. People are catching up to Naoya Inoue. I'm not saying he's a dirty fighter, but I'm just saying that
Bro,
people
you're
are calling
making
this
crazy allegations.
Papa,
Cra-
Papa.
You're
People are
Papa,
saying
these
bring.
bro, you're making crazy allegations. You're basically in lamest terms saying that Inoue is a dirty fighter. That's
I'm not
bullshit.
saying that. People want him to
No, you're
start coming
breathing
to
around the
America.
bush.
Bro, people want him to come start fighting in America so we could do urine test, blood test, and we could check his hand reps before every fight. They want that.
Yo, you sound ridiculous right now, Hugo.
brother. I'm just a messenger here.
How are
I'm
you?
just
Who are you relating a message from? Because you sound retarded, bro. Every fight. Okay, prime example. Let's talk about this Picasso Inoue fight.
yes, sir.
Obviously,
Let's talk about
somebody
it.
was watching him wrap his hands and caused this whole false narrative about him stacking or not wrapping his hands right. So somebody is watching. Every fight has the commission watching every rap, and then you also have a corner man that goes in and out
Yes.
from the opposite corners to
Am I
make
back?
sure that
Am I
there you
back?
go, you're back.
God damn.
So I don't yo that's a huge stretch, Hugo. What you're
No,
saying? It's
I'm just a
huge
messenger
stretch.
here. People want Inoue to come to the United
Hold
States
on,
and be
let's
on VADA
hold on. Let's
365.
catch Edwin up. Let's catch Edwin up because Edwin was
All right.
gone for a little bit.
Okay, here,
Pass me
So
up.
Edwin.
Pass me
Go
up.
ahead. Go ahead.
so
Jesus
what
Christ.
what he's insinuating,
Yup.
right? And now, mind you, this is just an opinion, but he's making a crazy accusation.
What's
What
he
he's
saying?
saying, so what he's saying is that in a way that we or the boxing community should take in a way away from Japan, have him train in America to make sure that he's not doping and
No,
he's
I didn't say that. Don't say that front line,
that
bro.
bro. I
No,
said in
I'm gonna
lamest
say
terms,
it.
that's what
I'm
you
gonna
were
say it.
saying.
I'm gonna say it, brother. I'm gonna say it.
Go
What
ahead, say it.
people want round one is for Naoya Inoue, the Japanese monster, to come to the United States so he could be put on BADA and we could take blood and urine samples from him 365 year round. That's what people want, and they want him to have his stacks checked before every fight.
Get him,
Okay.
Edwin.
Hold on. Hold
Get
on.
him,
You act
Edwin.
like you act like you said something right there in that whole thing, right? First of all, right, when Naoya Inoue left Japan and he went
Hey,
out.
hold on, Edwin. Before you answer Hugo,
Yup.
Kenyo is back in the chat. He wants to know, can you set up the fight with him and Mike from Omaha? I already told him that you're gonna work on
Kenyo,
it.
I got you. Kenyo, I got you. I ain't gonna forget about you, all right? And Frontline won't let me. All right, so check it out, right? First of all, with Naoya Inoue, when they're saying that they want him to come to United States and venture out of Japan, he's ventured out of Japan five times,
Has he
not
ever held a
consecutive.
training camp out of Japan?
Uh, I'm not sure all about that, but I know that he went to Roach's gym down there to work on his defense just before the
Mm,
Paul Butler fight. He went
mm.
to Roach, Freddie Roach's
Alexis
gym.
Roach? Alexis
Yeah,
Roach?
yeah.
Okay.
The one
Yeah,
that
yeah,
trained
yeah.
Manny Pacquiao. So he was out
Oh no, I
there
don't know.
with them and working
I
on some
mean, I
things.
got you.
But his team is from Japan. Here's the problem with what you're saying, right? That no matter what part of the world you're from, dope testing is dope testing. It's conducted the same way. You could be in Japan and Europe. It doesn't matter because you're in Japan, you're safe. No. Naoya Inoue ventured outside of his country 5 times, and all 5 times he tested negative in all
Mm,
world title fights. Okay?
mm,
Don't be fooled by what these guys are trying to put out about Naoya Inoue and his power and try to like diminish it. Because
mm.
if we do our own investigation about Naoya, the monster Inui, is this the first time they ever said anything about hand wraps? No, it isn't. In fact, because Hugo, I have you on stage today, I'm going to use one of your countrymen, Saul Canelo Alvarez. Do you
Mm,
remember the time when Saul Canelo Alvarez was coming into a fight and they told him, you can't do that? And the other team came into his locker room. I'm sure you saw it. It was all over social media. The entire world saw these clips where they
mm,
made Saul Canelo Alvarez rewrap his hand, right?
mm,
And like Hector Bermudez said, it's all sometimes a mind game. No matter how you wrapped it, the other guy was going to say no. Why?
mm,
Get in your head before one of the toughest fights you have in your life. Okay. Rather than you concentrating, getting in the zone, I'm going to break that concentration with
mm,
argument and turmoil, whether
mm,
you were right or not. It's kind of getting into the fighter's head. But now, didn't we see this once again with Naoya Inoue in the hand wraps versus who? Stephen Kubo Fulton, an American fighter that what asked him to wrap his hand wraps a certain way. And what happened to him? He didn't win 10 seconds in the fight and he got brutally knocked out. So all this thing about Naoya Inoue's hand wrap or his skill, okay, well said from a bunch of guys that are all suspects.
Mm.
Boxers are saying Naoya Inoue needs to come out here and be tested. Really, well said from you. That how many times have you been tested?
Mm.
When is the last time you entered VADA? You like to
Mm.
point the finger, but watch out when you point the finger, you got three pointing back at you.
Mm.
That's what they say about people that make accusations. How many times have we seen boxers be asked about another boxer testing positive? That's a shame. I would never do that. And lo and behold, 2 years later, that same boxers test positive.
Mm. No, I
Huh?
guess I was just getting to the point where they were trying because I was reading articles, like reliable articles that they wanted to kind of bring the Floyd Money Mayweather thing up when he offered Manny Pacquiao the fight, and he told him, "You want the fight, your biggest payday in your whole life? You have to come to the United States. You have to train here. You have to hold your camp here because I'm gonna put your ass on Bada 365 random." So yes, VADA does random drug testing, but if your opponent or the promotional company pays for additional drug testing, it'll be more drug testing from VADA. Who pops all these fighters for drug tests? VADA. We don't know if VADA is in Japan. Again, I'm just going based off the articles. So then again, people are saying bring
Hu-
Naoya's Inoue's ass to
Hu-
America for a training
Hugo, you
camp
know what your
and
problem
put
is,
his ass on
Hugo?
365.
Hugo, you know what
Yes,
your
sir.
problem is? I'm gonna tell you
Yes,
what your
sir.
problem is. You go watch other channels and you copy and paste and come here.
No,
And then you
brother.
put your foot in your mouth. Because you, as a boxing fan, I don't even want to call you a casual, which I want to, but I don't want to go there with you because you know about boxing and
Yes,
you
sir.
know the shit that goes on. My point is, you should know that every champion don't give a fuck what country you live in. They get
Mm,
tested no matter what
No
after
matter
every
what.
fight. Now, it may not be called VADA in other countries. VADA is just what's known here in the United States. So, in layman's terms, what you're trying to do is you're trying to get. Listen to yourself though. It's voluntary.
Yeah,
mm,
VADA is a voluntary.
VADA is
Like I've talked about this
voluntary.
on my channel. Like if a guy from VADA, if I was a professional boxer, Hugo, and you were a professional boxer, let's say me and you were coming out the gym, and all
mm,
of a sudden some guy comes out with some credentials from VADA and whips them out and goes, "Hey, Hugo, piss in this cup." I'm gonna look right into your face and say, Hugo, you don't gotta do that. You don't gotta piss in that cup for that guy because VADA has nothing to do with boxing at all. The only way VADA is introduced to boxing, they're an anti-doping agency that is worldwide, that is recognized by multiple sports. You can
mm,
hire them to test you, and the boxing world would deem them credible. Now, if the WBC hires VADA and they show up and show their license, you better piss in that cup because they're hired by the WBC. Now they're a part of boxing because they
mm,
were hired. They're an outside voluntary doping agency that when you need them, like the WBC, the WBA, the IBF, the WBO, when they need them to keep their fighters accountable, they will hire their agency to come up and test their fighters. Yes. But as long as you're not in VADA 365, I don't got a contract with you. You can't test me. The only
mm,
people that can test boxers, when you go and sign a contract to a boxing match, you sign to a set of rules. And the athletic committee, boxing athletic committee, whatever city, country you're fighting in, they will assign you a doping agency. It might not be VADA, might not be WADA, it could be anybody, but it's who they hired. You got to answer to them. So when we're talking about VADA, I just want to educate the public that it's in the name voluntary. voluntary doping agency that you need to voluntarily sign up to them. It's the only way they enter the sport. I'm just trying to clear that up. I want to clear that up. So when he's in Japan, he's being tested by the Boxing Athletic Japan Association, Naoya Inoue. It just might not be VADA, but he is being tested. And then when he enters every title match, they take a tube of your blood. Don't make a mistake, and urine. How many times have you seen AJ, Anthony Joshua, come out to the podium or any other fighter and you see the gauze in the tape? Because they took your blood, a tube of your blood. They don't just take urines after a world title fight. They take blood and they bring it back to the lab. And if you don't hear anything back, that's great news. On to the next fight. But if you hear anything from them, there's a problem. That's how it goes.
But I'm sure VADA is it. I'm sure. I'm not saying it's 100% factual. It's just common sense. When Jaime Munguia got busted, right, with the false, supposedly the whatchamacallit,
Right.
wasn't he in Mexico, Hugo?
Okay. But the people that caught him, the
Who?
people that
Munguia,
Who was
Munguia.
in Mexico?
okay, but wait a minute.
No, he was the.
Jaime
He had
Munguia's
that fight.
case is interesting. It's interesting to say the least because there's missing pieces. I can't ignore it.
What's missing
I
pieces
can't
about it?
ignore it, right?
I'll answer it.
No.
I'll answer
Hugo,
the missing pieces.
Hugo.
Tell me. Not my answer.
Listen to me. Listen, chill.
Can I answer the missing
Stop.
pieces?
I've heard all your explanations on
Alright,
this
go ahead.
show. I've heard every article that you
Go
read.
ahead.
And nothing that you've ever
Okay.
read me is definitive. Nothing. Not one piece of evidence that you've ever presented me with something that I can say, you know what? Hugo's right. Because it's where it came from. The only evidence you've ever provided me and any evidence I've ever looked up happens to come from where? His team, the WBC, that has to be a Mexican belt. Everybody else, just like you do, Hugo, right? So I gotta do how you do us. Now, the problem with to be honest, the Jaime Munguia, it was real hush hush. First of all, he popped it positive. They tested the B sample. He went out, hired his own people. Whether or not the people he hired, the Boxing Association deemed them credible. Now, who the fuck was this outside
Well,
source
of course.
that they went over the original people? So who were they?
Who did Suben?
Oh, wait. Stop. We're talking about Jaime. We're talking about Jaime. Now, see, that's why I say that in the Jaime situation, there was a lot of holes that I can't answer. I'm not qualified to answer them, and I'm not going to guess them. But at the end of the day, what you need to know about Jaime Munguia is that he was acquitted. He was not found guilty as a Mexican boxer that will not go on the doping list as a cheater. He will not be there. And that's the important thing. That I might not know the particulars or what happened, but I got to accept what they decided. I could sit here all day and say shit on Jaime Munguia, but that's not going to go anywhere. What's going to be written in the history books is what I have to obey by. I have to report that. And he was acquitted. I don't know all the particulars. There's a lot of holes in it, and I'm pointing that out. But I don't got anything to say that he was dirty. So what I said, all of that to say this. Boxing has a lot of skeletons now, does it? And boxing is a sport that is trying to clean up the sport. Boxing is a sport that's trying to really make its way. There's a lot of new players and a lot of people that are trying to change boxing. You guys heard who signed to the TKO, I bet, right? So we see what's going on. We're not blind, okay? But it's important as boxing fans, not for us to be fighting against each other, but to support boxing in its time of need. Boxing is being attacked. We see it. Don't be blind. They're trying to do away with our belts. They're trying to feed you this other belt. And they're trying to make a new boxing league. When you have fighters like Naoya Inoue that are standing right in front of you, that if you just backed up what you see and allow him to become the face of boxing and the fighter that he can be and uplift boxing rather than putting our greatest champions down. We're being attacked and we need to stick together for the alphabet belts and for the sake of our sport. And if the best that are leading away are being attacked, then they got us right where they want us. They got us fighting against each other and destroying boxing within. And don't say that here at Round One Sports Talk, I didn't warn you or tell you so.
That's part of Turkey's big fucking plan. That fucking guy
You
is
know it.
fucking
You
up the
know it
sport.
is. You know
He's
it is.
fucking up the sport
And
big
he's got
time.
us taking us out. He got us going. Even though we're not from the same country or the same flag, we all bleed the same color, boxing. All right? And if we want to keep this sport alive and in the traditional way, I want the belt my champions held. I want that WBC. I want that WBO. I want that IBF. And I want that WBA. It might not be all peaches and cream, and boxing might be fucked up, but damn it, it's what we have. And
Well, you've always said it.
if I sit here and allow someone else to come in and divide us and take this all away from us.
You've always said it though. Your whole
talk about a payroll. Fuck out of here. What's up?
no, you always said it that boxing is a sport. I mean, it's a business disguised as a sport.
Yes.
So that's the politics behind it and all that shit. But what Turkey's doing, it's in the beginning, what rightfully so. It's what most dictators do. They give people what they want, so you can put all your trust and faith into them, and then you start stripping away little by little. Example: Bud Crawford, undisputed. You think he don't care about undisputed? But all of a sudden, when he got undisputed, he says, "Fuck the WBC belt. I'm not paying that. It's the ring that matters." It's all propaganda that's trying to sway boxers to go towards the TKO league. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to get away from the belt era.
Okay, check this out. To my man right here, Legacy, right? Laughing out loud. Which government? Wait. Did I? Oh no. Wait.
Which government body was?
This is the one. This is the one. Bullshit. Turkey's the only one who has been moving the needle in the last few years. Okay, listen, brother. In order for me to take over something, just like Portugal took over Brazil, they don't speak Brazilian there. They speak Portuguese, right? Okay. The way they did that wasn't by force. It was by trinkets and showing them things and being friendly, playing nice. Soon they took over them. You understand? By Turkey coming in, giving us the biggest fights, that's all he's doing is playing nice. He's giving you things and not asking for $1 in return. None of his fights, he got a profit back. But as business, I understand that if you don't have the money to invest in something for the first 5 years and not expect a penny in return, don't start the business. His money's long. His mission is not now. It's to capture you as a fan, to remember what he gave you. So when he asks you to support him, how would you go against the very guy that gave you everything you wanted? He bought you. Without even you knowing it, you're going to betray the very thing you love. You're going to be, what's his name at the dinner table with Jesus that betrayed him? What's homeboy's name? Was the guy that betrayed Jesus? What's his name?
I forgot his
You know
name,
who I'm
brother.
Judas.
talking about.
But
You're
look,
gonna become him.
yeah. I know what you're talking about. In my opinion, though, Turkey, he's gonna be like respectfully, bro. He's gonna be like the chick that likes to date different guys. I think that he's not gonna stick with one. He's not gonna stick with Dana White because he knows that all the real boxers, the
Okay,
Hall of
great
Famers, are
analogy,
over here with
Hugo.
the
Great
ABC belt.
analogy. Great analogy, right? But that chick that never sticks with that one guy, what does she do? She always takes everything she wants and then she moves on to the next. He's gonna take what he
Mm.
wants from boxing and he's gonna move on to the next. You understand me, guys? And he's gonna have us even divided on our American greats, Terrence Crawford. He has us going against each other and putting the Americans against each other. Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez. But he has you guys all in the fact that he's the one that's bringing us these fights. He's the one. But if you ask my Puerto Rican brethren, Subriel Matias, we don't feel the same. When you came and tried to buy us for pennies and we fought against the machine,
He offered Subrel Matias $2 million,
we
didn't
fought
he?
against the machine. Okay? You're not gonna buy me for the low. And here goes AJ making 82 million on fucking Usyk or whatever they made, right? And then try to force me to fight your guy. If you want that, well, then you're gonna have to pay for it. As for the gentleman in the
How
chat,
much did he want?
that said about money and Saudi and fucking whether or not this guy got paid enough money or priced himself out. Here's the here's the thing about boxing, gentlemen. Let's be honest here. If you ask me, the money's not worth it. I don't care how much money Saul made. I don't care how much money Terrence made, Usyk. I don't give a fuck. That price you pay at the end of your life is worse. It's far more greater than any dollar amount, if you ask me. To take all those punches to the face, by 54 years old, you will no longer be able to hold a conversation. And while you're shaking on the beach trying to hold up your Mai Tai, the rest of your family is enjoying your money and what you took damage in that ring. A lot of fighters are not privileged to enjoy the rest of their life, but they did enjoy the moment they shared in the ring. And I hope you appreciate that as a boxing fan. I hope you understand that Caleb Plant gave a piece of his soul against David the Monster Benavidez in that ring that night. I hope you appreciate that. I hope you appreciate all the battles Manny Pacquiao gave you throughout the years and all the blood he left in that ring. Because for every punch, for every fighter, there is no way you will not pay for that. So at the end of the day, whether you bicker over money, dollar amounts, or who priced himself out, I stay out of that one. I don't count these fighters' money. I'm not in their pocket. And if you ask me, I don't give a fuck. The money is not worth it. It's not worth me knowing who my kids are at just 60 years old. It's not worth it. Me not being able to hold a conversation, stop shaking. It's not worth it for me giving a piece of my soul. But to the men and women that embrace the warrior's way and the way of life, I commend you. And I never, ever mean to put any fighter down. I will be critical, but I will not diminish a fighter for who he or she is. And that is my promise to you as me covering the sport of boxing. Frontline, do me a favor, read up on the rest of the chats.
Well, I'll start with the most recent one. GC says round one down bad. His fighter rap got exposed, and the other one tested positive for ostering.
Wow, that's exactly where they want you as a fan. to believe that and to fight against each other, you're part of the machine. Continue on frontline.
You okay? So you read laugh my ass off. Which governing body was it that was blocking Better Beef versus Bivol one for years again? Um,
WBC.
yeah, that was legendary. Legend says bullshit. Turkey is the only one who has been moving the needle. You read that. That's what got you on that rant. Matias didn't get to say his speech after his win is a red flag from Turkey. D1 says it doesn't matter which fans say fuck the belts because those belts mean most to the guys fighting for them. They'll always matter. Legendary says the boxing governing bodies not have been not giving us fights we've been wanting to see for many years now. Stop being so intrusive.
Well, that's
D1
the
said,
governing bodies and the fighters. It's two ways because the governing body can order the fight and the fighter can pull out of the fight. It's a fucked up situation, but that's boxing. Continue.
Daryl says, and Picasso was talking about something in the later rounds. I felt stronger, but that wasn't the case. Picasso was fading in the later rounds. We all saw that.
Yeah.
Legendary says, this is something happening for the first ever with boxing. What aboutism and comparisons to countries talking take taking other countries does nothing but contribute to conspiracy talk like the other guy earlier. D1 says you just hit the nail on directly on the head front line. That's exactly what all of this was about the whole fucking time. Turkey was the Trojan horse.
Right.
James says he went back on a lot of his words, so not true about him not convinced. He said he wasn't dealing with Tio and also no more pay-per-view. Mr. Miyagi replied to Daryl, I actually believe in the four fights had actually mentally burnt out in a way because there was a few times Picasso was on the ropes and the liver shots there for Inoue and he wouldn't take it. Mio says our wine might be shit, but it's our wine. T says Judas. Legendary said nothing but fear mongering. At least maybe four governing bodies will finally hopefully get their shit together and work together with haste. Daryl says it looked like Picasso raps were the same and they didn't make a big deal out of it. So what's the problem with them? Miyagi responds to Jay, says 100%, lying through the side of his mouth. Legendary says he's about putting on fights. We want to see fights, right? Craig says time will tell. Legendary said, and let's not pretend like Americans were all the biggest fans of Crawford the last few years either. Mr. Miyagi replies to Legendary 100% Turkey while enjoy Turkey while he is here, but be cautious. Craig says round one seems right on this. Kenyo says true Riyadh season is trash. Miyagi responds to Kenyo says, I don't know how many fighters keep getting sick over there. Food must be hit or miss. Legendary says this is the unspoken rule of us boxers. Understand, or US boxers, understand before going in the ring. It's not that deep ultimately. We asked for it by signing the dotted line. Craig says, preach round one. I already read G's. It's not a coincidence, says Kenyo. Legendary says, salute. Mr. Miyagi replies to G, not really, just more backstage bullshit from the opposing team, trying everything to get Inoue's head.
Yep.
Daryl says, Mr. Miyagi, I mean, it's possible. I don't entirely think so. Not only because the way Inoue was throwing those shots to the body and Picasso body was definitely in pain and showed up in the late rounds. Koki says, CG, shut your bias ass up. Kenyo says, round one facts, Bud and the snack fighters are drug cheats. Coy said, if you pick either 2 million US dollars or 20 million, it would be 20 million with Arab's venue, unfortunately. Legendary says governing bodies can also block big fights by mandating bullshit mandatories.
Yep.
Coy says if tiny bit of difference in money, you wouldn't be fighting in an Arab country. Legendary says, brother, you got to practice your spoken reading. LOL.
Mhm.
It's easier to write that shit in the chat, and then when you're trying to read it, and the shit keeps jumping on my end because you don't see what I'm looking at. It's not how
Yeah,
you guys look at it.
Hey,
right.
legendary. You can hop on the panel and read for us if you want to. Apparently,
Facts.
you probably an English teacher.
What up,
Koi
Cookie?
says
Go
I'm
ahead.
biased too. Legendary says my fault if English ain't your first idioma.
Okay.
Mr. Miyagi said replied to Daryl. Inoue was throwing the body shots, but he just seemed off. Usually he would take them openings. Koi says you got it. Gotta appreciate someone can communicate in whatever language, whatever your language is. Bentley
Stop right
says
there. Stop right there. Stop right there. I just want to answer that real quick. That's what I was talking about with Alan David Picasso and his performance. Okay, guys. The reason why Naoya Inoue I felt that he didn't take those body shots is obviously for what the power that was coming back his way from Alan David Picasso. He wasn't so eager to take those openings. He was a bit off. Noticed that, and Naoya spoke about it in the press fight after the fight. He even admitted he was a little off. But nevertheless, you got to give Alan David Picasso his credit.
oh shit, he froze again.
Oh shit! Damn.
What's up, Cookie?
Yo, respect frontline. How you feeling today, man?
Another day in paradise.
I had remember Mick, the guy from Scotland.
Yes.
So he had linked me to the Boxer Boys. It was Edwin against Ness. They were talking about Inoue. You know, what I'm saying how Inoue is not a superstar, and I thought round one did a good job because you know how Ness is kind of like always trying to go with insults and shit, but round one came with facts. You know, and I think Ness was a little you know that's not really his topic per se. He's not a hardcore boxing fan and shit. He wants to know about what Ryan Garcia is doing on Twitch, on Instagram, on X. You know, he wants to know about the glamour part of boxing. And for me, you can only go so far with that.
Damn, he got booted out. I know he said that his internet been
Yeah.
having issues
So
all day. But yo, legendary funny as fuck. I won't pay that day no mind. But but um but yeah, I don't know. The problem is, again, it goes back to the lower weight classes. A lot of people don't pay mind to those lower weight classes, so they feel because they don't pay mind to those classes that those lower weight fighters shouldn't be on a pound for pound list.
right.
And the way pound for pound originally was written, it's not how they have it nowadays. It's the way it was originally written. Is if this style fighter versus that style fighter were in the same weight class, who would win? That's how you become on a pound for pound list. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I just with that platform, I feel like it is the biggest platform on YouTube boxing, the boxing voice, right? So if you're telling 200 people, every day, yo, Inoue is not that dude, and it's like, well, he went 12 rounds with Picasso, and Picasso is apparently he's a prospect. That's what they're calling him. And I'm like, if he's a prospect, then why the fuck did he get a title shot? You know what I'm saying? It's like,
But
I
I
don't
don't
know.
pay
I
mind
just
to
think,
that shit. They said the same shit about Zayas. They said the same shit about other fighters, but whatever. It is what it is. I mean, every boxer had their chance at or gets a chance at the title. What they do with it, that's on them. You get what I'm saying?
yeah,
So let's just say, I don't know. Let's just say, okay, Haney's a title fighter now. Whoever they put to fight Taney as a Haney as a defense, right? And Haney beats him. Oh, he fought a nobody, or he fought, a prospect, or whatever the case may be.
right.
But hypothetically, let's just say Picasso would have pulled it off and beat Inoue. None of this rhetoric would have been going on right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I personally I don't follow that channel.
I
For
follow it for Edwin really because I know when Edwin's on, he's gonna be talking this shit. So
Edwin will tell you how I feel. At least from where I come from.
Right.
We don't support snitching. So
Yeah. I'm there with you too.
I'll just leave it at that. I'm not gonna get into it because
Yeah.
this is Edwin's platform, and I'll leave it up to him. But I don't follow the channel for that. Even if Edwin's on, Edwin knows it.
Right.
I made it clear to him. I refuse to support it. You know what I'm saying?
Caesar G077 said, "What up, round one, and what up, front line?"
What's up, Caesar? Yo, shout out to the chat.
Yeah, word. Shout out to Koi too. Koi's dropping some knowledge.
But yeah, Picasso being a prospect, I don't buy that. He was a number
Right.
one contender. He worked his way up in the rankings. So I don't even pay mind to shit like that. I know Edwin and I were talking behind the scenes about what happened over on that channel. And in that channel, they're saying that David the Monster Benavides is more of a monster than Inoue.
Oh, they were
I
saying
don't.
that.
Edwin was telling me that was the whole argument on that other channel. That that's what they were arguing about. That the monster that Inoue didn't look like a monster against Picasso because he couldn't knock out a prospect.
Right.
Now, in a way, it was hard for him to knock out a dude who has a rock chin. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and especially
Um,
he wasn't a small guy too. At 5'8", at that weight class, that's a pretty big guy too.
and then they're saying the monster Benavides is the real monster, but what has he accomplished?
Damn.
To be honest,
Yo, welcome back.
yo, your internet still acting up, Edwin?
Yo, it's the weather. It's
The
bad.
weather,
Oh,
what?
y'all getting a snowstorm out there, huh?
No, it's everything is ice. Everything is like it rained, and then like my power lines is just huge icicles hanging
Mm.
on. So it's
Oh,
fucking
so
up my
the
connection.
weight on the cables
Yeah,
causes the
and
shit to fuck
I
up.
was outside hitting it with the broom. I'm like,
Damn, yeah.
fucking- I'm
Like
like,
Hey,
old school with that shit.
I'm like,
so
like
break
an
it
old
just
school,
off.
like an old
just
Yeah.
to
school
ca-
superintendent in the Bronx.
just to catch you up, what we talked about behind the scenes
Okay.
that you were explaining to me about the other channel,
Yeah,
how Inoue's
I
not
had brought it up to Frontline.
yeah,
Your performance today against Ness, I was impressed. Mick, I was mentioning Mick. Remember Mick, the guy from Scotland? So he had linked me. He said, "Yo, Edwin is cooking Ness," and I'm like, "Word, I gotta check in." So I checked in, and I was like, "Oh," and then I saw the whole dialogue between you and him, and
Yep.
that's why I do tune in because I don't like the channel itself, but when you're on, you're the voice for the people. You know what I'm saying? That's
That's right.
what gets me like, okay. And then you talk like, yo, because I know they got Star there. They got two tones to Glaze, Ness and shit. Two tones like the fucking the Butler and shit. So for me, it's like you're there on some solo shit. You know what I'm saying? You're there just like no fucking endorsements, just there to represent
That's it.
boxing. Because who's talking about Inoue? I know Showbiz talks about him a little bit, right? But I don't hear any other channel talk about Inoue like that. And if they do, it's gonna be hate.
Yeah. No, no, no. And then the thing is that I see that uh in the beginning I see that I made a choice to support boxing and to the skill of boxing, right? And then all of a sudden, like, these guys started putting out that this guy was a hype job. And I try to tell these guys, there's been times in my life that I was led astray and I felt foolish for arguing points that I wasn't quite, familiar with. I just copied and paste and, it sounded right, right? Okay. So what I try to tell people is that you're faced with the truth. You have two options at this point. Either confront the truth, accept the truth, or bury it. Whatever way you want to go. And then you see these guys, these content creators in these YouTube, not just necessarily Ness, a lot of them, they'll double down on their bullshit. And I'm sitting here and I'm a little baffled because I try to be the voice of boxing. And I try to just at least give these guys their credit. But now, when Naoya Inoue is doing shit that's like, above it, I scratch my head and I'm wondering, how the fuck is this guy a hype job? How is it that, he's not impressing you? So when me and Ness went into it today, I knew I wasn't going to get any wins from the man. He's set on his ways. He's set on his ways. I see it. I've dealt with people like him before, but Ness has an obligation to the world of boxing. And I feel that he should report the, you know, facts, right? Instead, he does report facts, but with a biased twist. And I feel that why aren't you giving champions respect because they're small?
Mm.
So because you're 6'5", 200 and something pounds, I guess you never really respected the little guy. I think it's a case that you've been tall your entire life and you only respect the big man.
Right.
So in
Mm.
that aspect, I view Ness as a man that's never been short in his life. He doesn't know the uphill battle. He doesn't know the challenges and the obstacles that shorter men face. And I've always said this. I've always said this on my channel that the little guy has to work twice as hard to get noticed. And I feel that way about boxing. Now, I don't I'm not discrediting this. That's my dude. I like him. And I like the opportunities that he has given me and the things I've learned on his channel. Okay. I appreciate every opportunity that man has given me and the light that he is and giving me a voice to be heard. So for that, I am thankful. Okay. So there's,
Edwin,
we're just at heads at
yeah,
a particular situation with a particular fighters. That's all.
right.
Other
I
than
guess.
that,
Yo,
we
my
come.
bad, my bad. Yo, Hugo, I'm gonna give you the microphone. I'm gonna just read a comment for Edwin real quick. And salute to Hugo, the
Yes,
man
sir.
right there.
Thank you.
Yo, Inoue gets too much hate. He has never shown bravado nor hype his skills. An example: when asked if he was pound for pound, he said no. Usyk is pound for pound.
Mm.
We need to improvement and aim for a pound for pound in the future. And then Koi and everybody sees everybody chatting it up. But yo, welcome Hugo to the panel.
Yes,
Viva
sir.
Mexico.
Ah, huevo. Thank you, sir. Much love, my brother. Love and respect to this panel. Love and respect to you. I
Yes,
love your
sir.
boxing takes, and I love going back and forth with you guys here. This is a distraction, man. This is a distraction for me. Nice, healthy, debate here. But yeah, man. I mean, I'm getting right into it. Round one. I think the point we're trying to make a lot of people, including myself, not trying to be a hater or nothing, is that where does Inoue get the name the monster? Like, why is he called the monster?
Okay,
Like,
the reason why he's called the monster, first of all, Naoya Inoue never called himself the monster.
mm,
And I'm gonna bring it back to history.
mm,
Naoya Inoue was called the monster by the people. When
mm,
they watched him fight, they said that kid is a monster. He
mm,
never liked it that name. In many interviews, Naoya Inoue had tried to take away the name. He was asked the people, please don't call me a monster. That it sounds kind of bad. He didn't like it. But
Ed-
when we
my
kept
bad.
going to see him, the fans could not help but say, yo, you's a monster, bro. You knocking people out.
Ed-
Yo, you know what I'm saying? So
Edwin,
they
I thought
named
it was
him that name.
my bad. Wasn't in the Godzilla reference? Like you know how like Godzilla in Japan, that's
Oh,
like
yeah.
historical. Like, wouldn't it be that? No.
No, no, no. Listen. Hear it. Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Oh shit, that's from the old movie, right?
You know it. You
Oh
know it.
wow, you got the classic.
Listen, listen, listen. That's the real Godzilla, and he
Yeah,
is the monster. And we all know that Godzilla comes from that side of the world. And in reference, we used even the reference, the gorilla, the silverback gorilla,
right.
and King Davis. He represented King Kong in New York City, King Kong, and Naoya Inoue crossing the pond as Godzilla. That would have been the fucking ultimate fucking fight I
That
would
would have
have
been
ever
sick.
got to see right
That would
there.
have been
It would
sick.
have been two monsters.
And then you got Pitbull Cruz, the perito.
Listen, let's go, right? So that was the narrative. The great New York City monster, Tank Davis, the gorilla, right? He got it on his chest. and Naoya Inoue crossing the sea as Godzilla. Two big monsters, two big names in the sport of boxing. What could have been? Now, let me
TJ,
tell you something about
my bad.
boxing. Let me tell you something about boxing. The thing with boxing is that we can't solely always put the blame on one entity. Now, can we? We can try to blame the promoter. We can try to blame the belts, the organizations, and we can try to blame the fighter. But isn't it so? It's a bit of all of them
Right.
combined. It's a tough sport.
I'll
It's
read
a
this
tough
comment for
sport.
you, Edwin. TJ said to Edwin, it was Ohashi, the Japanese promoter who named him the monster. Then Koi said no, his boss in Ohashi gym is named Monster. When Inoue entered the gym, he became a pro at 19 years old. And then we got Mr. Miyagi with the super chat, the 5 piece from my man Edwin. He said Inoue was called that when he turned pro because his arms record go back to his first fight. His first fights. That was from
Oh.
Mr. Miyagi.
All right, Mr. Miyagi.
The champ is here. The champ is here.
Mr. Miyagi, you're a real champion. You are leading the way in super chats tonight. So you are the number one super chatter tonight so far. And I have to acknowledge what you're saying. Like, look, nicknames are given to guys for numerous of reasons. Sugar was given to a guy because Sugar Ray Leonard looked so sweet when he boxed. They called him Sugar. Now, there's a lot of reasons why we get nicknames, but that's not neither here or there. I guess it's how you perform in the ring and what
Right.
you actually look like. And do you back up the claim monster? I have to say, and I'm admitting that, listen, you can't have a short memory. Wasn't Naoya Inoue on an 11 fight knockout streak that tied the great American Terrence Crawford? Didn't Naoya Inoue also tie and break the great Mexican champion and Saul Canelo Alvarez in defending all four belts in a four belt era, a remarkable 4 times? Now, doing all of this, he still doesn't seem, Naoya Inoue, to be getting the respect he deserves. And why is that? It brings me all the way back to who's putting this all together. Who's fighting against us? Turkey and Dana White.
Right.
And although you think, like I once thought, they are bringing us these fights. I was on Turkey's. Sometimes you don't see it coming. That's a well executed plan.
Yeah.
You understand? It's You're not supposed to see it coming. What you're supposed to do is fall in line. You're supposed to back Turkey up and you're supposed to thank him for everything he gave you. You understand?
Yes.
And then when he comes and axes from you, the fighting fan that has been speaking up for months, perhaps a year, about everything he gave you, now I'm asking for something in return. Support my TKO league.
Mm.
Oh
Do you
shit, yo, TJ
understand?
TJ said, oh, by the way, during the press conference in Japan, as soon as Inoue arrived in Japan, he shared what Team Picasso did. They were so loud and noisy in the adjacent room that it bothered him. Unbelievable.
Oh, come on, man. Like, it's a boxing fight. You know what, though? Round
Nah,
one, like,
nah. That
round
was
one,
all
though.
head games. Damn you Mexicans for being
Round one,
rowdy.
though, like, round one. If I'm truthful with you, though, bro, I'm optimistic. I do think that Naoya Inoue's next fight in May is gonna be a big fight. I think that Turkey threw him a little easy fight so he could test the waters end the year strong. But bro, let's be realistic. He has nothing left at 122, bro.
Okay. Wait, one
Nothing left
second.
at 122.
Okay,
He has
wait one
nothing left
second.
at
To my man
122,
right here.
bro.
To my man right here that said, wait 1 minute. I thought Turkey likes in a way. He's going against them. Listen, it when you
He
execute
doesn't
a
like no one,
plan,
bro.
right? You have to understand that there's going to be casualties. You will have to break a few eggs to make an omelet.
Mm.
Now, Turkey likes Naoya in a way. He has him as an ambassador, but he doesn't own the rights to Naoya in a way. Just like a lot of his fighters that he's renting out. So make no mistake, although he does business with you, Naoya Inoue is signed to Top Rank,
Mm.
not to Turkey Al Sheikh.
He's not signed to Lemovo?
Okay, he's signed to Top Rank. He's always been signed to Top Rank. Naoya Inoue.
Japanese. Who's that Japanese dude that like the older gentleman?
Ohashi's is his original promoter. Ohashi is the
Still
guy
signed
that
to him.
Naoya Inoue will never leave. He's a small promoter, but that's what I talk about the Subriya Matias situation. Ohashi is one of those promoters that is left on the outside when the meeting's being conducted in the inside.
So who's the
That's
biggest promoter in Japanese?
right. And Ohashi can't go in the room because Top Rank is speaking for him when they're making the deals. They come back out, they tell Ohashi what's up. Whether or not they're truthful with them, they have a great relationship with him, I don't know. All that I don't know. But what I'm saying to you in the Subriya Matias situation, why I feel that this is such a iconic moment in boxing, because these guys, Yomi, they're about to walk into the room. What Ohashi has not been able to do. He brings his fighters to Top Rank. Top Rank walks in with the networks, the streaming, where all the big deals are done. Then he comes out and talks to him. Same shit with Yomi, with Ed Hearn, when he was bringing Subriya Matias to Ed Hearn and Matchroom. See, Yomi was a small time promoter like most of them. The top promoters, it's like an ironclad. They won't let nobody in the room. For years, they kept everybody out. That's why this is an iconic moment in sports. For reasons like this. For fighters like Ohashi and his team of fighters to get in with networks, to have people believe in your promotional company that you could bring them fights. See, promotional companies only sign with top streaming networks because we have a contract that the PBC or Top Rank or Ed Hearn is going to bring us a certain amount of fights a year. Yeah. So that's why they sign with the big guys. Because the PBC is supposed to give me 15 fights on this streaming platform. Ohashi can't provide that. Yomi could not provide that. All these smaller promoters can't provide that year-round basis. They don't got the money to back them up. That's why this Subriya Matias situation is so big in so many different ways.
So look, good thing you brought that up because that's an interesting topic that I've always thought. So then, pretty much like the zone owns the zone, right? It's like a platform. It's li- it's like a app where you could go and watch boxing. So that means that they own like the satellites in space, right? They have the rights to televise them,
I
right?
think I
So
think
then
I think you're going a bit too far. Okay, the zone
because
and
because because
natural.
Yeah.
my question to you,
Wait.
hold
Hugo,
on, hold on,
Hugo.
hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. My
Okay, go
Yo,
ahead.
question to
Hugo, you
you
be
is
stretching.
no,
Yo,
my
chill, chill,
question
chill,
to
chill.
you,
Let him go.
brother,
Let him go. Let
relax,
him go.
brother, is
Yeah, yeah,
okay then.
blah,
So
blah.
then why can't the zone just get everyone under one umbrella, brother? Why can't they
Okay,
get like top rank and why can't they
stop,
get boxer?
stop. Because right now, what you're seeing, what you're asking for, is exactly what the zone is doing. They done linked up with a lot of boxing promoters, and they done signed a lot of people to be streamed on their platform, the zone. Matchroom is a separate entity. There are promoters.
Yes.
Matchroom covers different events. A promoter can do anything. A promoter can do from music to football, baseball,
Mm,
fucking darts,
mm,
table tennis, pool, whatever they want, whatever they invest their money, and whatever they get their investors to invest in.
mm,
The promoter goes to the table and talks to a bunch of investors. They pitch them the event. The investors opt if they want to be in the event to capitalize on their dollar. The promoter then goes to the streaming network. They work out a deal. They come out of that deal after it's all signed, and then the show must go on. Then what do you reap from the show is the net worth. And
Net
that
worth.
dollar amount is the biggest secret in all of boxing. There are
What about
not
the
a lot of
Muhammad Ali
people
Act?
there. No, that doesn't protect you there neither, because the Muhammad Ali Act only protects you from your promoter, not the streaming network.
Mm.
It's the
Hey, the
same
next
case. It's the same case. Case in point, Errol Spence Jr. and Derrick James.
Mm.
Derrick James was paid off the purse amount that Errol Spence Jr. fought for.
Mm.
So he was only paid, let's say, hypothetically, I forgot what it was. Let's say 2.6 million. So when Derrick James was paid, he was paid off 2.6 off that, off 13% as a coach. So Errol Spence Jr. paid him a check. Here's your money. But wait, the network pay-per-view, what they made off the Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence Jr., on the back end, Errol Spence Jr. made $22 million.
Mm.
22 million versus 2.3, what you got paid off the purse.
Mm.
You understand? Okay. Same kind of gimmick that the Ali Act protects you from what your promoter, what they told him. He must reveal that to you. Now, there's numbers that doesn't kind of say that your promoter's a liar or not. There's loopholes. How the fuck can your promoter determine how many people buy the pay-per-view or how many people show up to buy a ticket? So at some point, he needed to tell you this was the number. This was the number at the light gate. This is what I'm paying you. Now he's waiting for the network. Now there's a lot of shit that happens in between. A lot. And once money is divided, once people have money, once you already have the money, you're not it's more likely you don't want to pay it out because you already got it. And that's where the bullshit in boxing sometimes lie. But your promoter could be sued if he doesn't reveal what they told him inside the thing. Yes, the Ali Act protects you, but it only protects you so far.
Edwin,
There's a
can
lot
you?
of
My bad.
loopholes in boxing, a lot of holes in contracts. Trust me, guys. Trust me. These
Edwin,
guys
can you
are
highlight
smart.
JMS? They wrote a message. They said about Eddie Hearn. They said, you notice Eddie Hearn is not promoting the Matias and Dalton Smith fight. It's also an opportunity to get Dalton more known. Eddie is mad and being petty.
Why
He's being petty.
didn't
He's being petty because he should represent Dalton Smith. Wait,
just go to the zone?
oh, wait a minute, guys. Wait a minute. I wanted to say this for a couple days, but I've been all up on my Subiel campaign and shit. But I'm not biased, guys. I'm not. And I want to send a shout out to Dalton Smith in the UK. And I want to send a shout out to all the fans that are going to tune in to watch their fighter fight against our fighter.
Mm.
And I want to tell you guys personally, good luck. And I wish you guys the best because I mean no foul play to Dalton Smith. He's a hell of a fighter, undefeated fighter. And you guys in the UK, you got a real one. You should be proud of fighters like Dalton Smith that are coming out representing your country. And I
to
want to
catch
tell
an
you
ass
right
whooping.
now,
Congratulations.
and I want to tell you right now, yeah, although my compadres are biased as fuck, me, Round One Sports Talk, I'm gonna keep it funky. I'm gonna keep it competitive, and I'm gonna keep it in Warrior.
Bro, that fight is
So,
close. That
UK,
fight is real close on the
UK,
live odds.
you guys are fucking the shit. And you guys are always coming fucking up America's night. I can't tell you how many times you guys done fucked up our night. All right? So this rivalry right here against Dalton Smith, I fucking love it. Okay?
Don't sleep
Because
on
I'm going to tell
Dalton
you right
Smith,
now,
guys.
as a Puerto Rican and as a man that understands rivalry, I need you. I need my rivals like I need myself. What good would boxing be without you guys? the competition. I
Don't
love
sleep
you
at
guys.
Dalton Smith, guys. You guys remember what happened last time? Subrel Martilla se durmió. Se
Listen,
despertó y ya no era el campeón. Se
Hold,
le
hold on,
quitaron el
hold on. Hey,
campeonato. Le
Edwin, check
quitaron
this
el
out. Check this
campeonato.
out.
Le
Frontline,
quitaron el
Ha-
take
campeonato
it
a la
over.
casa.
Take it over, Frontline.
Hey, before I say anything, this is going towards Inoue. But how many fights does Dalton Smith have?
How many fights does Dalton Smith have?
Like
Well,
Was he like
19?
14 and 0, 15 and 0?
No, check right
uh,
now, brother. We don't have to be
Dalton
guessing. I
Smith
got
is
you right now.
currently right now.
18 and 0 with 13 knockouts.
Yes.
So my question is, I'm gonna shut everybody down right now. Is he a prospect?
No.
Um,
No.
mm,
Has he won a
No.
belt?
Is he a prospect?
No. A prospect is somebody that fights under the 15th ranking and that's making his way to a contender. Once you're in the top 15, you're no longer considered a prospect.
You're
You're a
considered a contender.
to threaten for a title.
So how the
I
fuck
don't
is
know, round
Picasso a
one.
fucking
He's
prospect?
not. He never was a prospect. But that's what the media wants to sell you.
No
They
round
want to
one. No
diminish.
round
Excuse me, Hugo. They want to diminish. They want to diminish the fighter's accomplishment. When in reality, who Naoya Inoue fought was the number one mandated fighter. He was
Contender.
ordered
Contender.
to fight him.
Yes.
Now,
Look, round one. Okay, go ahead.
what?
Because a lot of people will agree with you. A lot of people would say that to go from a prospect to a contender, you need to fight a next world champion.
Wrong. Wrong. Let me tell you something right now. There
Yes,
are
sir.
not former ex-world champions just floating around in every world division. No,
Mm.
you cannot hold the fighter by that standard. That would be bogus. Okay?
Why?
Because
Why?
um,
Because
hold on,
fast.
hold
Okay,
on.
go ahead.
Stop, Hugo. Stop. Just
Yeah, blah, blah.
Come on, brother.
chill out. Let me tell you something, Hugo. What you're saying is, in order to be considered a contender, anybody in the boxing world, the only way you can be a contender, you must fight a former world champion. That would be ridiculous. If you make it up the ranking system and you beat your foes in front of you, if you're the number 5 and you beat the number 2, then damn it, shouldn't you be the number 2? It doesn't mean that he was a world champion, right? Because you don't have all former world champions. Usually champions retire or champions get dethroned and they kind of become like gatekeepers or something, but there's not
And
one in
that's
every.
when you get them. That's
That's
when you
not.
get them.
Yeah. I understand. I said all of that because I want to bring up your point, and I think I like your logic, but that doesn't exist everywhere. That's every so often. What if the champion never gets dethroned, like Naoya Inoue? That you can't find a former world champion. You can only make your way up the ladder. Now you must respect the ranking system. If you want the ranking system to work for you, why is it that when the fans were complaining that Saul Canelo Alvarez needed to fight his mandatory and David the Monster Benavides, and at that time, David the Monster Benavides had never fought a former world champion, but you accepted the fight. Why? Because he was the number 1 and he was a former world champion himself, but he never fought a former world champion. He was a former world champion. You understand? Now, in this situation, just because Alan David Picasso didn't fight a former world champion doesn't diminish his number 1 mandatory ranking, doesn't diminish the fact that Naoya Inoue, as a champion, took the fight. Don't you understand Naoya Inoue could have took a lot bigger money fights? Juncho was right there. The 126 is right there. But you're talking about stripping me. You're talking about taking one of my belts and giving me an F on my report card and later on saying you didn't meet the requirements of a champion and that's why we had to strip you. So Naoya Inoue did the right thing. He fought the mandatory, the guy that was ordered. He didn't duck or evade or vacate a belt to miss him. Like Terrence Crawford, like Usyk. He didn't do that.
Ondora.
You know what he did? He honored the fight.
Pitbull.
And said, if Alan David Picasso, no matter if you're not a big name or sell tickets, that's not why I'm fighting you. I'm fighting you because of the fact that you were the number 1. and they ordered me to fight you. And as a champion, I must act like a champion and fight my mandatories. So
Edwin,
Let me
because
ask
he
you a
did
question
this,
my,
though.
my,
Let me ask you a
because
question
he
because
did
I
this,
remember the
he's
time when
shit.
I remember the time with Alan Picasso, and that's my guy right there, brother. I represent Mexico boxing, but I remember the time when David Allen Picasso said, "You know what? We're not ready to fight Naoya Inoue. Let us get a tune-up." Talk about that.
Okay, I'm gonna talk about it. When we ask the fighters in the boxing world, be honest. Don't call that guy out if you don't have no intentions on fighting him. Don't call him out if you're gonna duck him. When we ask the fighter to be honest, Alan David Picasso was honest. I can't consider him a duck because he told the truth. Had he been up there selling wolf tickets and saying he wants to fight Naoya Inoue but never fight him, now you're ducking him. But because of your fact that your management and your father, I must respect what I ask. If you're brother, if you're not gonna fight him, just say so. And when he says so, what do you want to shit on him now?
What about
Now you
MJ?
want to call
What
Alan
about
David
MJ?
Picasso a
Was he a
duck?
mandatory? Was MJ a mandatory?
Yes.
You know what? You're right. I'm gonna give you your fucking credit. I'm gonna give you your credit, brother, because in Google it does say yes. Alan David Picasso was a WBC mandatory challenger for Naoya Inouye's
I know it.
WBC belt. Naoya Inoue to fulfill his mandatory obligations and avoided being stripped of the
Avoid it.
WBC
Key
belt.
word. Avoid
Edwin,
it.
you go in frontline. Can I ask you guys a question?
Yep.
All right, I'm gonna switch the topic real quick. Is Dalton Smith a better fighter than Alberto Puello or and Liam Barrow? Alberto Puello, Liam Barrow, Dalton Smith. Who's the best fighter out of those three?
Dalton Smith
Alberto
is the
Puello,
best fighter.
hold on. Alberto Puello is an OG with experience that'll definitely give a hard fight.
Okay.
Barro
So for
is
me,
a guy
for
that's
me,
the next
for me,
world champion and that could prove himself. Dalton Smith is that young, hungry lion that wants the new, that
okay.
wants to be thrown. Yes,
Cookie,
sir.
for me, Cookie, Dalton Smith is a clear leader in those three men that you gave. Why is Dalton Smith in my head the best fighter out of them three? He's undefeated.
Oh, I mean, yeah, that's
Has
a good
never
point.
fought
Okay,
has
That's a
simple,
never
good
fought
point.
an
I
simple,
has
say,
never
I
fought a
say,
world
simple,
champion. Has
I
never fought a world
say,
champion and
simple,
has never fought an undefeated fighter.
simple.
Sorry,
I'm not
let me
gonna
throw
go
that
on
out there.
fighting styles or opinion.
I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna
go
go
with
on
Puello.
facts.
Puello's the better fighter. Here's why:
Undefeated
because he
fighter.
was a
Has never
He
champion
fought an
probably
undefeated
is. He
fighter.
and
probably
he
is.
defended.
He probably is.
And
I
Puello
think he's
did beat
better
Gary Antoine Russell
might be a
and
little better
Sandro
than Dalton
Martin.
Smith.
Correct.
But I'm gonna say this with a straight face: Dalton Smith is undefeated.
I
But
mean,
he has never fought. But he has never fought an undefeated
I don't
fighter. Talk
care.
about that.
I
Talk
don't care.
about
He's about to
that.
fight Sabir Matias.
Matias,
He's
Edwin,
about to
I
fight
got a
Sabir
cool
Which is
Matias.
statistic
not
for you, Edwin.
undefeated. Which has a loss in his
Matias
record.
actually has the most wins against undefeated fighters at 140. When it comes to guys who have undefeated records, Matias has defeated over, I think it's over 10, but half of his resume is like undefeated guys.
See that, bro. Bro, don't cap, dog. Cause I got him here. Do not cap, bro.
Yeah, Ergashev,
Undefeated.
Hawkins,
Puello undefeated. Ponce undefeated.
Dadashev, Ponce.
Sergachev
All right, hold
undefeated.
on, guys.
Barro was
Hold on.
undefeated. All
One
right.
of you guys, front line. Can you please read off?
Yep. Mr. Miyagi
Um,
says, I'm sure Ness just doing it to stir up his callers because he has a lot of lower weight followers on his show and they really pushing back.
yeah,
Mm, that's a good point.
I think he does. He's been a bit of a nest stirrer. You know what I'm saying? So, I could see that. I could see that. But whatever
Hey,
you
Edwin, real quick, before you answer that,
yeah,
Daryl's
right.
been asking for a while. We haven't acknowledged it, but he wants to know what video was it that you went at it with Ness? Was it the one 2 hours ago or the one this morning?
This morning,
No, this morning.
en la mañana, yeah.
This
You
morning.
went
Yeah,
at
it wasn't
you
the
went
video.
at it with Ness?
Yeah, because
Yeah, and that's what's
I didn't
bitching
go
about
on.
Inoue.
I didn't go on after that, and then I was having technical internet difficulties, as you guys can see on my own stream.
Man, you cooked that though. You cooked them.
I had that on his, and then it was taking a long time to reboot. So I was like, "Fuck it," I just didn't go on because I
Mm.
also knew Ness was just gonna come back with more bullshit and just overtalk me all the time. But I kept my composure. I shot my shot, and I defended what I believe is arguably one of the best fighters in the world, and I will continue to do that no matter what race, ethnicity, or
I'm gonna
color
give you a question.
he is. If you
Who's number
deserve it,
one
I
pound
will
for
back
pound
you up.
fighter?
Hold on,
Who's
I
number
got the
one pound for pound
Wait,
fighter?
hold on. I'm gonna play. I'm gonna play.
Devil's
Uh.
advocate.
No, not devil's advocate.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna guess Hugo's question. Hugo's gonna ask you who was the pilot that drove the rocket ship to put the satellite up there and gave him the rights to the
Jesus Christ.
to the streaming.
Jesus Christ.
Mr.
Wow.
Miyagi, a super chat for $5. That's how Nets does it, right? $5. He does like
Yeah,
$2.
yeah.
He says saying to stop calling Inoue a monster when David hadn't stopped anyone until the dangerous but beaten to fuck yard.
Don't do that. Do not do that. I cooked you guys. I cooked
Ah!
you guys yesterday on this show when I proved to you guys that Bebo ducked Benavidez. Do not start doing that because every opponent that David has fought is never the same.
Hold
Ask
on. Check
him.
this out. Check this out. Check this out. Bivol
Two front line.
Doug
You know that two
Benavidez,
front line.
when Bivol hold all the pieces, why won't you say he just wouldn't acknowledge him? You're just here asking for another handout. We saw you do this with Saul Canelo Alvarez.
It's a mandatory. You're the one that says that you have to fulfill your mandatory. David the Monster Benavidez was number one mandatory, brother.
But you want to know something? You want to know something, Hugo?
Yes, sir.
You need to have David the Monster Benavidez take responsibility for his side of the street. Had he never tested positive for outside banned substance, he would have never
Recreational
lost his
drug.
belt.
Recreational drug. Do not ever say that he's testing positive for PEDs because that's not
I
true.
never said PEDs. You said I said a banned substance, which is outside recreational
just
drug.
say recreational drug.
Okay,
Just say
that is still a banned substance, motherfucker.
Oh,
put dirt on his name.
I meant
And
to
it's
say
still a
something.
banned substance. I never said PEs. You said PEs. I try to keep it clean. And you had to announce to the world that he went for drug use rather than me saying all of that shit. I just said a banned substance. It wasn't a PE. It was considered a banned. Cocaine is a banned substance in boxing, bro.
Hey, let me get out what since he said. He said, "Salute round one. I'm over here dealing with a hater threatening my life, but this stream gives me peace. Been a wild day."
Hey,
Thank you.
Cincy, Cincy,
Here cooking.
send it to me. Y'all got them for you.
Absolutely. Listen. What does he say?
Hey, matter of fact, hey, give him the address.
Yeah,
Koki, just in
2323
case.
Happy Line Avenue, Bronx, New York, 10845.
What was that again? One more time.
2323 Happy Line Avenue, Bronx, New York, 10845.
Yeah, they get that work there.
And we get that work there. Clean work.
Lou Duval's there, man. Boricua from New York. Lou Duval.
Lou Duval. That's right. Right. Yep. You can go there anytime and get that work and learn. We can teach each other something.
Shit, Sean Haney was in there. Devin's brother.
Evan's brother. Yeah.
Yeah, his dad is sending him there, bro.
Yeah, he was
stabbing. Bro, Bill is so crazy because you know what Bill does? Like, because, you know, they got on Sean for like playing tennis to be in front of suburbs. So Bill moved to New York and Bill sent his son to the fucking Castle Hill in the Bronx where it's fucking hood as hell. It's hood as fuck. It's hood as fuck, man. And over there, Sean is going to the hood, and, you know, the boxing gym and shit. I'm like, yo, but the guy that's coaching, I told the coach, yo, I hope they paying you good money.
Yeah.
Bill is not drinking. Bill is not coaching.
Sometimes you got to take that rich kid out of his element to teach him as a father where you come from as a dad.
Props to Bill for doing all that for Devin because, you know, Bill was never the coach. Bill would take Devin to different gyms and have different trainers train Devin. So, you know, Bill never boxed. He's not a boxing coach.
No, he was a promoter for music.
Yeah.
Music. Yeah. Now let me tell you something about Devin, right? Look, guys, I promote all fucking boxing, so don't start saying I'm getting Devin Haney checks because Bill, if you hear this shit, you better send me a fucking check. All right. But anyway,
You mean you better give you a raise?
So anyway, right? Yo, I gotta give respect to Devin. Anybody that can fight themselves their way out of Mexico at 16, because he fought in Mexico because it was against the law to fight US that young. But in
Round one,
Mexico,
everyone
they
does that.
accept it. They
Everyone
accept
does
it,
that.
right? Not everybody. Bullshit. Not everybody can fight their way out of Mexico. Fucking Hugo. So don't fucking
What do
say
you
that, all right?
mean? Not
All right?
everyone can
Because
fight out of
Mexico is
Mexico.
tough. Not everybody can fucking do that.
Fight their
Right?
way
Brother,
out of, not
brother,
fight
Yo.
out of
You
Mexico.
Yo,
fucking
this is
tough.
why
Listen,
this is
listen
why
to
I
the
got
response,
banned.
Hugo.
I got banned for the boxing voice
You
because
would
of
get
this. Because I
dropped
said,
for trying to fight your way out of Mexico. There's
bro,
too many killers there.
I
That's
said,
worse than fucking pro box.
yo, I said Haney's first 19
You'll get
opponents
your
all had
fucking
losing
head
records.
punched in
I
fucking one of those
watch.
Tijuana bars. Ain't no referee gonna come to your aid, and let alone a black American fucking beating a Mexican fighter. You're gonna have to slide out the back door. Good luck on trying to make your way out of that bar. You know how many times Devin Haney and his father had to pack it up and slide out the back? Are
Talk
you
about the
fucking
part.
crazy?
Talk
Hugo?
about the part where Devin Haney lost in Mexico
Oh,
and he
let me
didn't
Word.
buy
do
his
it.
win
Why did
No,
he erase that win?
Listen.
because he
He
paid.
probably did. He probably did. And congratulations to him. What he did wasn't easy at a 16-year-old kid fighting out of Mexico. And you're Mexican. And you're telling me that shit is easy? You're fucking Mexican.
I mean, yo,
That shit is hard.
Bro, he didn't go fight the Armando
He's
Resendiz,
16
the Jaime
years old.
Munguias.
Shut the
word.
hell up, Hugo.
He was
He's
fighting the Paleta man.
He
Like,
was fighting the Paleta Mat. He was fighting Jose Inoue, 7
yeah,
and 21. He was fighting Jorge Sillas Amor,
Daryl, the
523.
answer to that is
Fuck out of
yes.
here.
You're crazy, Hugo. I don't expect him to fight Julio Cesar Chavez when he's 16. What the fuck do you
Expect him
want
to
from
fight.
him?
Hey, Edwin, highlight Daryl's question right there. The very
Daryl,
last one. The very last one.
Daryl, what's up? What's with Daryl? I got Daryl right here. Because
Hugo,
Hugo
read
just
that.
loves to.
Come on, dog. You can't
come
fool
on,
me.
man.
I'm in front of a
About
computer, dog.
everything. Hugo.
Brother, I'm in front of a computer. You can't lie to me.
Yeah, blah, blah.
Listen, I'm not lying to you. I'm
blah,
not
blah.
I
lying to
mean,
you. I'm
Go
just
ahead, sir.
acknowledging. I'm just acknowledging what it would take for a young black American, Afro-American kid at 16 years old to go up in Tijuana and to beat up on Mexicans and to walk out of that place. How many times did him and his dad do that in Tijuana bars all over Mexico, wherever he fought? Okay?
18 times.
That's 18 times he did that shit with his son. Beat him and run, son. Beat him and run. All right? As a kid, he was taking his son and put him in the worstest position because he was trying to find out, is this what you want to be, son? Do you really want to be a fighter? You want to be a fighter? How about this? Let's go to Tijuana. Let's go to Mexico. You want to be a fucking fighter? How about this, Devin? And he went and fought his way out of there.
So,
Listen, he don't got no belt. He don't got no belt. But as a 16-year-old kid, okay, you did good. Now, that 16-year-old kid, what did he turn into? What did that teach him? Oh shit, undisputed at 23.
Weight bully undisputed fighting Jojo Diaz.
Say what you
Sparring
want.
with
Say
122
what you want.
pounds.
yeah, I don't
Call
mean,
Devin Haney a weight bully all you want, which I'm not so much going to argue with you, but I got to point out one thing about that weight bully shit with Devin. The entire time he stood a professional, he never missed weight. So the contractable weight we agreed to, he made. After that, that's a different story. But as far as the professionalism, Devin Haney has kept professionalism in the sport of boxing. And that's what I can say about him.
you go. You want to go?
Hello, mic check. Are you there, Hugo? I think he's done. Yo, what's up?
Here.
Hugo's having technical
Nah, it
difficulties.
was the guy wanted to know he wanted to know the name of the Mexican who sparred Inoue. I believe that was Sebastian Hernandez who fought Junto
Yeah.
That
Can you hear
Nakatani.
me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, we hear you now. We hear you now.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, Sebastian Hernandez did fight Naoya Inoue, and he did fight
Hernandez.
against Junto. Yes.
Sebastian
Yes, sir.
Hernandez, that's his name.
Sebastian Hernandez, that's his name.
The winner,
so you know-
winner of the fight, by the way, he should have won.
won. Yes, he should have won. In my personal, respectable opinion, he should have definitely won that fight. I was here. We were all here, and we seen Junto Nakatani start off strong the first couple of rounds, but
And
after that,
faded away.
it was just Hernandez controlling most of the fight, in my opinion.
Every round that Junto went to that corner, he looked more confused. He's like, what the fuck? What the fuck
Yeah.
Yes,
is
sir.
it? Like, and respect to Junto, but I don't think he was ready for that amount of pressure, man.
Mm,
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 It, it was suffocating pressure until round 12.
mm.
And the craziest thing, Rudy Hernandez, which is Junto's coach, right? What is he? Nationality.
Mexican.
Okay, then. So you
And
would think that he would think you're fighting a Mexican guy, that this is the kind of pressure you're gonna
yeah,
get. Now,
they
and I
mentioned that
don't
on the
know,
broadcast too.
right? Oh, they did.
Yeah, they
Wow.
said, oh, because he's in Cali. He's in Cali, so he's gonna get all the Mexican sparring.
Right.
Hmm.
So I thought that Junto would have been prepared, more equipped for
The
this
thing about
challenge.
it is that
Now,
yes, over here obviously there's Mexicans, Americans, but there's a lot of Mexican Americans in the higher weight classes, like from 130 to like 168.
stop,
That's the
Hugo,
hotbed.
because you're getting off the conversation. We're not talking about Mexican Americans. We're talking about Junto sparring against Mexican guys. That's what we're talking
But
about.
that's what
And
I'm
as
trying to
far as
tell you, that there's not a lot
no,
little
no, no,
guys at
there's a lot of
122.
sparring. There's a lot of young men out there in California that are Mexican that will give Junto that work. So you don't get that excuse. There's
They're
no
mostly in
fucking way you're gonna
Mexico,
convince
bro.
me of that.
They're mostly in Mexico, like the very good sparring partners. Why you think Naoya Inoue always
If
gets like the Mexicans,
okay,
the Mexicans?
hold on, Poppy. At this level, Junto's a
Mm,
3 division world champion. You mean to tell me you can't fly in the
mm.
next guys? Of course you can. You can
Oh, of
you
course
can
you can.
you can match up as close as you can to Sebastian Hernandez and have them flowing in.
Yeah,
And
no, you're
Rudy
right about that
Hernandez
one.
have connections, and if he didn't have somebody in his gym, he would have made a phone call. He would have came tomorrow from another gym. So I don't want to
Mm.
hear that. What
Yes,
I
sir.
thought was that you see what happens in the sport is in boxing, you will be presented with multiple challenges, multiple styles. What makes you an elite fighter and separates you from the rest is your ability to adapt to all styles and all fighters. Apparently, Junto Nakatoni to this point was looking good against the men he faced and those styles. But
Mm.
Sebastian Hernandez presented a style and a pace he wasn't familiar with. So when that challenge came up to him, he left the ring with an eye closed and barely scathed off with a victory. And when you see the elite fighters like Naoya Inoue, every fight, every challenge he meets, every style, every every opportunity, he takes over. Now, how do you view how the fighter, how the level of dominance? I'll tell you, Naoya Inoue won every round against David Allen Picasso in a unanimous decision. Not impressed? Okay. How about his last fight? MJ, the next number 1 contender, he won every round against him. So he's continuously pitching a shutout, and the boxing world is hanged up behind what? That he didn't knock out Allen David Picasso, but everybody he fought didn't do that neither. No one knocked out Allen David Picasso. And you want to know something interesting? Just like Stephen Kubo Fulton, when he lost to the monster Naoya Inoue, I said to the world, he has no shame in that. Let's see what he does after. He became a world champion and even jumped up another division, although he fell short. That's how great that man was. Only time will tell. Only time will tell when Alan David Picasso turns into a great fighter, wins belts at the Naoya Inoue, vacates him, and becomes a pretty decent Mexican champion. And if David Picasso goes the rest of his entire career undefeated, and the only man to beat him was Naoya Inoue. What would that say about Naoya Inoue? But just like every painter and every starving artist, sometimes the artists, while they're active or alive, never get the credit until they're gone or dead.
Hey,
And the
Edwin, pull
life,
that super chat up on the screen
yes.
and let Hugo read it.
Hugo, read the
Hold on.
super chat, Hugo.
Hugo came in uneducated, came out educated. There's nothing wrong
Damn,
with that, brother.
damn, yo,
Hey,
what's up the
why you
Yugo
laughing?
hate,
Hey,
yo?
Why you
Hey,
laughing? The front
Yeah,
line,
am I
front
the
laughing.
only
line.
guy that likes
Why you
Yugo?
laughing? Front line because
Why am I
I
laughing?
educate you too, dog.
I'm laughing because we educate each other, brother. And I'm laughing
It says
because
right
it's
there,
the truth.
Espinosa stops Inoue. Read that one.
Here we go.
Mm,
Here
put
we
it up.
go.
We read the chats here. That shit don't mean
Hugo,
that.
Hugo, let me tell you something right now, Hugo.
Yes.
I don't care what anybody says about you in my chat. You are one interesting person and you
Thank you,
have
sir.
questions. And let me tell you something. A closed mouth doesn't get fed. How the fuck are
Exactly,
you
brother.
expected to learn if you don't ask the questions or you're scared to ask them to feel embarrassed? My
Yeah,
man
but
Hugo comes up here on a live TV show and asks the hard questions and he gets his questions and want to know something. I got to admit this. One of the first times one of my subscribers or whatever comes up, and I gotta admit, when I actually got Hugo where he can't no more, he goes, you know what, round one, you got that one. So I can admit he rights his wrongs, some of them, but he keeps this interesting. And thank you for people like you, Hugo, that keep boxing talking going.
I
hey,
try
Continue.
to
hey, round
learn,
one.
brother.
Can I say
Yeah,
something to
brother.
Yugo real quick?
Yes,
Yes,
brother.
sir.
All right, yo, Yugo. So round one, you know Marco boxing, right?
Absolutely.
All right, so he has a little
hey, what
panel.
I
He
told
comes
you about
on
bringing up
like
Marco's name to Edwin.
Yeah, I'm gonna get water
the
poured.
the
I'm gonna
water
get flashback.
the water boat.
Flashback. Why would you
But
play that name? Huh? Huh? I don't know Russian
so
code.
so Hugo, we got a guy on Marco's boxing, right? Because he goes live at like 7 o'clock your time, right? And we got
Yes,
a
sir.
guy named Serrata, and he's also Mexican from Cali, and he's cool vibes and shit. And yeah, y'all both remind me of each other, and I just like I gotta get these two motherfuckers on and live together because it's like I need because you know how like me and Frontline we're like the bias boricuas,
Yes, sir.
and then we get the two guys with the bias Mexicans. I feel like that would be like a fucking
Wait,
explosion, bro. And like
what does that mean?
round salute to
What does
round
that
one. I'm
mean?
trying to
What?
get Serrata on here too. I
Oh
told him to
yeah.
come here because we
Ah,
got Hugo. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Of course. I
So
mean, you
it's
know,
gonna be
brother.
on today. If you want to come by, come by. And I'm trying to get him on here too because
Yes, sir. Of
I like
course.
that dynamic. Yo, Ed would be having fun with the fucking Mexican and Japanese rivalry, the Mexican Puerto Rican rivalry, and then Hugo
Bro,
brings
we
that
gotta keep.
heat.
I love it.
Bro, this sport is a lot of tribalism. It's a lot of tribalism, brother. And like I try not to be as biased as I try not to be biased, brother, but sometimes, bro, it's just like it's tribalism. Just like you guys rock hard for the Puerto
Yeah,
Ricans
Yeah,
and the
One
New
hundred
York
percent.
we
Ricans.
need it. You know why, man? Because that keeps our existence going. Like Edwin, you know about the gag law, right? In 1952, when Puerto Ricans
absolutely.
were not allowed to carry the Puerto Rican flag, and the
Oh,
reason why we're so proud is because our whole identity was like to be oppressed, to like be a colony, to not be
yeah.
independent. And for us, we
Mm,
try to express that through boxing, through baseball, through dancing, through music. We try to do that because we want that, and to us it's like a big deal. And I know with Mexico, like a lot of the United States used to be Mexico, California, Texas, Arizona, all that was Mexico. It's like you guys been here for so long, even before the Spanish came. And that's
yes,
why
sir. Of
like
course.
that's why like with me, I respect the Mexican
Yeah.
boxing because it's tradition. It's
No,
Bro, it's a heavy
I respect
tradition.
Mexicans on a just a much bigger scale and shit because respectfully so, they were the ones that were actually on the land, right? And I
Mm,
always felt this way with Puerto Ricans. You know, we came a long way, but being citizens, some of us Puerto Ricans have lost our way, and we have getting this sense of entitlement of
mm,
America because we have the backing. But Mexicans, they were on the land and they got pushed back, right?
Well,
Either
we
way,
fought, bro. We fought. We fought.
listen, I'm not going through that. Either way, what I'm saying is this: we are Latin descent. We
Mm,
have a Latin tongue. You understand, my brother?
hell yeah,
I
my brother.
understand your struggle like you understand my struggle. Although
Yeah,
we
nah,
might
for
not
sure. That's
be
a
eye to
fact.
eye, right? I don't like the fact that every time they put Mexicans on TV, it's about cartels, murder, drugs. I don't like that.
Yeah.
The Mexican people are much richer than that. They have a rich culture and they are
Mm,
good people, hardworking people, okay? And people that believe in their way, okay? And they're not murderers. Although they get a bad rap, I don't like when that happens. Just like I don't like when they put all kind of like they want to get over Bunny there. What's his name there? The Puerto Rican star.
Bad
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 Bunny.
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 Bad
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 Bunny.
Bunny
Bunny.
being on the Super Bowl.
That's
Why
somebody
are you
going.
gonna attack
Yeah, yeah,
us?
I agree with you, frontline.
Why are you gonna attack us? Like, you know what I'm
Mm,
saying? Don't you know what I mean? But as far as Latins, my brother, my Latin brother, I get the struggle. We all
mm,
face it. Every ethnicity, every culture, we're just trying to make our way. I don't hold anything you say about boxing, Mexico boxing, because without Mexican boxing, what would boxing be?
Bro, it'd be
mm,
dead.
But
Like,
your race and your people, I got to admit, you guys do get a bad stigma with the
mm.
cartels and everything. But we've all experienced it. We've all had our times when America tried to turn us against each other. You've
it,
seen it before,
right. Yo,
okay?
Edwin, who buys pay-per-views more than Mexicans?
Who?
I
Mm.
feel like
When you
there's no
say
other group that buys pay-per-view boxing more than Mexicans. I feel like because look
yeah,
at the numbers that Canelo does and other Mexican guys. Like
that's a great
Mexicans
Whoa,
show out
whoa,
for
whoa.
their fighters.
Hold on, Cookie, because from my understanding, Hugo, you're Mexican, correct me if I'm wrong, but from my understanding, in Mexico, when Canelo fights, it's
no
free for the
pay-per-view buy.
Mexicans.
Free.
It's free for the
So
Mexicans, and it's like a
Yeah,
tradition for them.
yeah.
Oh
So they
yes,
shit.
so
actually do pay
so
for his
so
fights, which
so
is
Mexico
done
has
by
the
their
right.
fighter, which is fucking awesome. Which I fucking
Mexico
love Saul for that.
has the
I
rights
wish
to most
I wish
of.
Matias can do for that for us in Puerto Rico. Every time Matias fights, guess what? Puerto Rico does not pay for my fights because my fights are free. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Shit, I wish our guy could do that for
So
for
so in
Canelo to
Mexico,
do that for the entire
ESPN.
Mexico. That motherfucker's a G for that.
Yes,
I
sir.
can't hold him to that.
not
So go
not
ahead.
only Canelo, but like Pitbull's fights are free in Mexico, and most of the
That's
big fights
crazy.
are.
You gotta pay
And
for that shit. He's not that much of a superstar.
nah,
Hold up
but the
right
thing
there.
is
Nah, I'm
that
fucking with you. I'm fucking with you.
that in Mexico there's a thing called, well, in all Latin America, brothers, in all Latin America there's ESPN Knockout, and that's free.
Or
So
Latino.
most of the
Or
big
ESPN
fights.
Latino.
Yes, no, it's called ESPN Knockout. It's called
Or is it?
ESPN Knockout. Yes,
Okay.
it's called ESPN Knockout. So that's what's free. There's TV Azteca. The only thing with TV
Yeah.
Azteca is that TV Azteca doesn't air the fights live. They'll wait an hour, so they don't have to pay for that fee, which is still kind of cool because you'll see it an hour later and it'll be free. But ESPN Knockout, it's the one that airs it free and live. They're the one that's
Uh,
out in Latin America.
Okay,
ESPN
Hugo, I don't
Knockout.
mean to cut you off. Mr. Miyagi with the super chat, $5. You are the man. Thank you,
The
Mr.
champ is
Miyagi.
here.
But he also
The
said
champ is
something
here.
very, very interesting in his super chat. Would anybody like to read off the super chat? I already read it, but
I wonder if Eddie tries to get Hernandez to fight MJ. I could see Pro Box trying to get Hernandez for Cardenas unless he is going to 126.
Mm.
now that would be a great fight. You know,
That'd be
Cardenas.
crazy.
Yo, did you see how Cardenas folded that dude the other
Yeah,
night?
bro. Cardenas
You see that
he
shit?
got pop.
Yo, no, and then in the beginning of the fight, I was like, damn, Cardenas, this dude is fucking piecing you up. Then he just
Yeah.
settled into the fight. He settled in, and then pow! I was like,
Yeah.
whoa. I was like, God damn.
He got the firecracker.
Yeah. And then tell me if that wouldn't be a great fight against two of the guys that fought against Naoya Inoue to see
Yeah.
which one would be the better. That's kind of
And
like That's kind of
Edwin, you
like
know what's crazy? My bad. Ness today, he said that Tank makes fighters. Like when you fight Tank, you become a name, like Pitbull Cruz and Roach. But I feel like with Inoue, he's doing that with, these guys, like you mentioned, Picasso could be a
right,
potential world champion. So
right.
it's like Inoue is elevating not just his
Oh
career,
yeah,
but the game of boxing because when you fight Inoue, what's next? You know what I'm saying? You've seen the best of the
the best.
competition. So now you fought Inoue. Now you could hit the top of the mountain, right? But then fight guys, and win titles, and you may not be him, but you could still have a good career. And for
Right,
me, as a fighter, if I could face the best and get to that level, I feel great. You know,
right, right. And there's no shame in losing to a fighter like Naoya Inoue. And then when you go out and prove yourself that, you know, and learn from that experience or whatever, and you show your dominance, it proves to the fact that the level of competition these fighters are fighting. For instance, when you look over the fighters and the champions that, I don't know, Terrence Crawford fought, how many fighters went on to become world champion after losing to Terrence Crawford? How many champions went zero? How many fighters fought Naoya Inoue that were world champions that he took their belt away? And how many of those guys went on to become world champions afterwards? 6.
right,
So you see his competition when they talk about, I don't know anybody Naoya Inoue fought. Well, no one knows their they're just trying to like talk over his body of work. They don't want to acknowledge what he really did.
right,
You understand? And it's just easy to talk over his work and point out everything your guy did and like a heated debate because it will try to get the other guy to forget what he came to say.
right.
You understand? And to take, you know what I mean? So that's
But
just
but
how
as a boxing fan, right?
yeah.
Inoue, would you consider him generational, like a generational talent?
No,
Like,
I
could we
don't.
see another Inoue in a couple years or so?
That my friend is the $1,000,000 question. Okay.
Right. Because I'm only asking you that because
Right.
the reason why I'm going to tell you right now,
Yeah.
like, all right, Bruce Lee, not a boxer, right? Not a boxer, but
Right.
Bruce Lee was like once in a lifetime thing where
Lifetime type thing. Yeah. Yeah.
he
Yeah.
gave you he gave you this philosophy of
Okay.
fighting, and
Okay.
and to me that
Yeah.
helped revolutionize a lot of things for
You
people
want
because
to know what?
it
Let me
helped
know.
lead to the whole MMA culture, right?
Right.
And I feel like with Inoue, the way he fights, we could dissect that and take like his technique, his approach to fighting, and make boxing better. You know what I'm saying? Because now you
What
talk
if he
about pound for
becomes a
pound.
what if
Imagine
he
you
becomes a
learning,
pro
at this
Japanese?
whatever gym they go to in Japan.
Yeah.
Imagine you learn from that
Uh,
camp.
Yo, no, but what if Naoya Inoue becomes a coach after fighting?
That'd be crazy.
Right. Right.
You
Right.
know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
Like you're
Okay.
giving this golden knowledge to imagine he goes to America
Right.
and gives that style of boxing to kids in America. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? It's like, and that's why Ness has to like stop downplaying it because
Right.
Inoue is not just
Right.
a champion. This guy is doing generational shit like Manny Pacquiao.
Right.
Manny
Right.
Pacquiao came from the lower divisions and went up, and he was fighting the best guys. So it's like, you can't downplay it because we need that. We need that. It's not just a Japanese thing. Forget that he's from Japan. Know that he's going to add to boxing, the sport of boxing,
Right.
boxing itself. Like we need guys
Right.
like that. Guys come in with this special ability. How do you do that? I want to learn how to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Of course, of course. And everything you said was spot on. Absolutely. When we're thinking about passing what we learned to the next generation, is where America sometimes dies with their secrets. Not every gym is eager to pass on everything because
Right.
they wanted to keep the recipe, but we must learn as
Traditionalists.
right. We must learn as a country. We must pass on what we taught, what we learned, our experiences as champions and pass that on to the next generation of kids. Okay, yes, I agree with that. Um, as far as like, the whole thing with us as Americans there's a lot to unravel there. I think where we have to start is that we have to raise the bar back up on our standards as Americans. I think that the bar is set so low as American standards sometimes that we don't hold each other accountable as much. I think that we teach our young men and women the wrong things. I think that so much advertisements out there, shoot 'em up, drink this, smoke that, wear this gold chain, that it all intertwines with some athletes' success. We
Right.
see it multiple times. So the way it's devised and what you talk about, do I ever think I would see a talent like Naoya Inoue? Here's the problem with that. The answer is yes, and the answer is no at the same time. Why? Life taught me that there was another Michael Jordan out there. The problem is he was doing a triple life sentence in prison, and the world would never know of him because
You talking about Cook?
wait, at 16 years old, he shot a person and killed them. Now, the problem is there has been another Mike Tyson, another Ali, but he died in a traffic accident or a drug overdose. What I'm trying to say is not everybody ever gets the talent, ever gets to experience the thing that they were a genius in. Not everybody ever meets. You could be a genius in something, but you've never went into that trade. You'll never know. The odds of a man or girl getting to the thing they were born to do is astronomical by itself. Now, the odds of them getting there without getting clipped off by the rest of the world, gangs, drugs, prison, the help they need to make them become the athlete they were born to be. There are 1,000 Michael Jordans, but only one made it. There are
Right.
1,000 Naoya Inoue's, but only he made it.
Oh, you was talking
There
about
are
letting bias.
that we right. What I'm saying is
That's a good
there are
example, bro.
right. There are a lot of talents, but they never get to be who they were meant to be. Sometimes they were meant to be that NBA player, but they became an addict or a prisoner, or they went astray and started a family early with that girl and had 4 kids, and
Right.
and he decided to work at the mill, and NBA career never met him.
Right. I'm gonna read this chat for you real quick. Craig said, if American fighter stop fighting for payday and fight for legacy, then American boxing would be much better." And then also, Mr. Miyagi dropped another super chat, 10 piece. He said, Inoue is the proof that with a loyal fan base and great skill, the lower weight fighter can earn crazy money. Inoue is literally the reason I started watching as much of the lower weight classes from 2019.
You're damn right. You're damn right. Thank you, Miss Miyagi, for saying that and bringing that back to the memory of how big and how strong is Naoya Inoue's star status. How good actually is he? He has most of us here because of him. That's how good he is. And when I say and I reference him to Michael Jordan, I mean that in every aspect. Think about what Michael Jordan did for the city of Chicago and the Chicago Bulls. Who the hell were the Chicago Bulls before Michael? I'll wait. What did they
Not
win?
much.
Not much at all. It's because of Michael. He made Chicago and them red and black colors world famous.
Right.
Naoya Inoue, who is at the 108, the 1 15, 118? God, if I knew. But the reason why we know so much about it is because of a man like that, his star status and his performance in the ring. And I got to admit all the time, When I tune in to watch a Naoya Inoue fight, I learn something all the time about fighting, because if you're actually watching the fight and appreciating what both fighters are doing, that, my friends, is the day I believe you will really see a boxing match. I guarantee it. Stop always watching a boxing match and be hyper focused on one guy. I guarantee you, if you go years later and watch that fight again, you're gonna say, "Wow, I don't remember the fight playing out like this."
Right.
Because
Chill
you're
Garcia said, "What up?" He says, "Saludos, round one."
absolutely.
We got Chill
Absolutely.
Garcia in the house. We got people are cooking in the chat, man. You got
Yeah,
people cooking in the chat. You got Zodiac. Zodiac said Inoue style is very much like Bruce Lee style. Bruce Lee took a lot of Ali style and fencing. That's why
absolutely.
Inoue likes to fight mid range. That's a good point because
You want to know?
fencing is very tactical.
Wait. It's not about um Bruce Lee learning different styles. It's about Bruce Lee understanding the effectiveness of all styles, and
Right.
that understanding not being stubborn in just the Japanese way. He understood that you figured out something about a fighting style and you figured it out. He wasn't stubborn, he was educational. Bruce Lee wanted to learn about all fighting styles. And what did he do in the end? Shit, he started putting together all them fighting style, everything he learned into one. Now he died and passed away before he can complete the book. But look what kind of fighter he was. That
Right.
even in that era, no iPhone, no seeing who Ali was. He physically needed to see who Ali was. And
Mm.
he understood what he was watching. Fucking remarkable fighter, ain't he?
Yeah.
That's
I got a
talk about
question
ahead
about
of your
Inoue,
time.
Edwin, because
That's ahead of your time thinking right there.
yo,
Fucking
Edwin, I don't watch Inoue as much as you do, but when I saw him against Picasco, right?
yeah,
Yo, Inoue, his stance, right? Something about his stance seems like he doesn't get moved a lot. What I mean is, but when Picasco landed on him, Inoue was so like steel. It was like Picasso landed and Inoue didn't even like react. Look,
yeah,
I'm not like trying to say that he's hittable. I
right,
just feel like Inoue understands in his stance when that punch is coming, he knows what's the next chapter. He read the book. It's like he knows
right,
every page. When he turns that book, it's like I know what's going to be on that page. So it's like his stance doesn't have that anxiety like he
right,
when somebody gets hit, they're like, oh shit. He's
right.
so stoic, and I'm trying to because like I box. I've been boxing since I
Now,
was like 20.
now, Koki, yesterday when I had Hector, Coach Bermudez on my channel, the one thing he talked about was when he was in TJ Dohany's corner, he said, "Yo, TJ, I want you to feint down here, and then I want you to go up here." He said the fucking remarkable thing about Naoya Inoue, when TJ went for the feint, Naoya Inoue was already here at the block. He
Yeah,
was 3 steps ahead of him.
right.
He already knew what you were faking. He didn't bite on your feint. He already went to the defensive part.
But
And
yo,
he
his
already fight
base,
it.
I feel like he gets to that because of his base. It's like he doesn't have to use that much energy to get to that point. It's like it's already there. And now I'm and I know people criticize him for having the hands low,
Yeah,
but I don't think they're looking at his hips. They're not looking at his knees. They're not looking how his feet are planted and how he's setting up these movements. And they're
yeah,
focusing on the hands being low, but Inoue is doing like five other things with his legs. And
right,
I rewatched the fight because I went to boxing today, right? I go to
right,
boxing 2 to 3 hours a day, Monday to
right.
Saturday. I love this shit, but I wasn't trying to emulate his style, bro. But I was thinking about it. It was in my head. I was like, this guy has the most base stance I ever seen because he's like glued to the floor, and but not in the bad way.
You
Because
know
I
what
don't know,
he
man. It's something
understands?
about
No. You know what he understands? Okay, for that kind of study, you would have to go to the human anatomy, the
right, yeah,
body movement. What you're doing in that sense, you would have to know that you would your capability of understanding your opponent only has two hands.
Right.
And when you train, if you're a right-handed fighter, you usually can't fight going to the right because you're trained to fight this way. Okay. So even on that level where Picasso knew how to fight, he could fight right, left, he checked it. The first rounds you fight, you test your fighter's intelligence. Then what Naoya Inoue does that I'm not and you have, is the human anatomy. He obviously understands something that I can't just pinpoint. He understands something about the movement. He's always in the next position to throw the next hard punch.
Right.
I don't know how he guesses that. That is something I haven't really truly figured out
Yeah.
because that right there is something that I watch silently in my head. I'm like, how the fuck did he know to step back, hit, and then step in and hit the uppercut while the guy is bending into it
At the perfect time.
at the perfect time?
Yeah, that's
And
that's
then,
it's mind blowing.
right,
Like,
then when he hits him, he shifts across, and when he hits him, the guy reacts in the way. See, how did he know? How did he know that if he don't hit that guy with the uppercut, he doesn't go this way? But it
right.
seems like Naoya shifts to the more likely place. So when the guy hits, he's open here. Now that, my friend, is something in a boxer and a fighter's mind I've never reached. I try to understand it. I want to act like I understand what he's doing. Of course, I want to report it. But me and you, we're talking real boxing. And as real fighters, that shit he's doing, that's mind-boggling. I wish I could tell you I can respond like that. That I knew the next punch or where he was gonna land or what he was gonna do.
Right.
When he figured out Jason Maloney in Las Vegas there, that he caught him in the feint. Yo, Naoya Inoue's face expression when he went to throw that punch didn't even blink. He went right
Exactly.
up and shot. How did he do that?
And I was
How
interested
the
in that
fuck
because
did he know that
yeah,
he was gonna do? Bro, I wish I could do shit like that in a fight, bro. That shit is phenomenal, man. I don't
oh
think
man,
people
yo,
understand how hard that is.
it's difficult. But you know what's crazy is like even the punches that he doesn't throw hard, Edwin, like those like 20% punches that he throws, like those little like he tries to set up. Even with those, bro, the timing of it, he doesn't try to throw hard. He just knows the timing of like when you're gonna come in, when you're gonna step out. Because remember Espinosa, he was like, I want to walk this guy down, but I don't want to do it with risk. I don't want to because you saw I mean not Espinosa, I'm sorry,
Sorry,
Picasso, wrong Mexican.
Picasso,
Uh,
yeah.
my bad. But Picasso, his stance, he had that back knee real low, and he had that back knee low because he's like, if I'm in the exchange with him, I need to get the fuck out, and he had that knee low to retreat. Whereas Inoue, he wasn't trying to retreat. He was just presented with whatever situation was in front of him. He presented himself. He's like, I'm present. I'm here. I'm here to work and I'm here to work at a good positioning. His positioning, his vision in the ring is something that I'm trying to study because as a fighter, to me, I see that on a different level. The vision and how he positions himself.
Yeah.
Obviously the work ethic is there. You got to do it a million times. You got to do it every day.
Right.
Whatever his routine is, respect to him. But
Right.
there's something that should be studied, like in terms of like fighting philosophy, because I feel like
I think
that
that
takes a lot of
honestly
understanding too.
individually, I think that's something we can't. That's a, that's what makes you a special fighter. The what you're thinking. I can
Right.
train you to do every punch, but the way you as a person view fighting, the way you let it out, the
Hmm.
way that you let it flow, that's individually. It's like these guys, right? That try to say that at one time that if there was a human that ever could use his mind and lift this bottle up with kinetic kinesis or whatever, right?
Right.
That there was a person that said, then we can all do it. That's not true. The problem is the person that thinks like that if one person can do it, we can all do it. That kind of thinking, it's one way. The reality of it, in order to make another person to do that, you would have to get every receptor in their brain to fire off the exact same way it's firing off in that person. And that, my friend, is impossible to do when you're trying to match 3-4 trillion receptors going off at the exact same time. You will never be able to do that. We're not that smart. If we could do
Right.
that, we'd turn each other into each other. Right. But what sets all of us apart as humans and unique is that ability. The people that really maximize their abilities. And that's a beauty to watch. Now, I might not be able to understand everything Naoya Inoue does, but there's a other guy that understands a different kind of fighting style that one day can defeat his fighting style in a more basic or simpler way. It seems to be sometimes it's always like that. But that's what I love about boxing. That's what I love about boxing, that every style will meet each other.
Right.
On a world stage, we'll figure it out. Now, as far as fighting in the I'm in agreement with you. That man understands things about fighting. It would take me years to teach a kid to do. It's like
I'll re-
fighting
yeah,
falls
I'll
down
read this
like
chat for you real quick. Literal Pharaoh. He said, Inoue was disappointed in his performance, which caught me by surprise. You dominate a fight from pillar to post, round 1 to 12, and you are not happy. And then we have granite. My bad. Spanish is my first language. Um, Boxing is fundamentals and technique over and over. Eat, sleep, live, and repeat. They say we're only 10% of our brain.
Mhm.
And then Daryl Anderson said the punch he threw at Neary with the right straight, he barely put any power on it. There was no torque in that punch, and he made Neary look like he got shot in the head from the shoulder.
Brother, I talk about that punch a lot on my channel. I got about 10 videos just talking about that particular punch. It doesn't make sense to me. I was left like this, like, how the fuck did you build that much torque and that much power when you just hit him with the uppercut like this? He literally stood in front of Neri and just cocked it from here.
Mm,
He didn't go like this. He didn't cock back.
right.
He didn't do any of that shit. He went from here and went, bro. He understands things about the human body, like me and Koki were talking about. It's got to be like a liquid thing in your body, like your blood. You got to like snap it, like I
Yeah, like the
talked
lactic
about.
acid.
Right, like you take water, you drill a hole in a wiffle ball bat, you fill it with halfway with water about that much, then tape up the hole. Then have anybody pitch that wiffle ball bat to that ball to you. You're gonna crank that thing about a fucking block down the street because the water at the tip of the bat, they won't allow that in any baseball. You'll hit a home run every time you bat. It's the same thing with your blood in the tip of your fist. If you know how to snap your body weight in your water and you can control those little muscles that I do not know how to control, what if Naoya Inoue was blessed with muscles that he can feel that we don't? Like, you ever get that kid in your classroom that bends his arm behind his
Oh,
head
one of those.
and all of a sudden his head is behind you? I can't do
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I had two of them.
I can't do that, but he can.
I
That
used to hate those kids, man.
doesn't mean that there isn't a human that can do that shit. He has to understand things, and he had to like control it. Like he's doing things he cannot explain. Is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
You know,
Zodiac said if Inoue went to the body more on Picasso, I think he could have got the KO a couple times. It looked like Picasso was about to go down.
no, 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 no. There was a part of me that was thinking Picasso was playing possum a little. and he was leaving his body open because he was training on a shot to catch Naoya Inoue in. Naoya Inoue read it. That's what stopped him from taking those body shots that were just a little bit too open for me. And that speaks to the intelligence of Naoya Inoue. That's recognizing a trap, not just setting traps, but learning how to read them. I think Alan David Picasso, at a point in that fight, he started trying to look a little weak. But Naoya Inoue felt him strong. That math didn't add up. You're still punching strong, but you're showing me weak.
Right.
And then you're exposing and allowing me to see your side, which would be a shot I would normally take.
Right.
Naoya Inoue said, nah, fuck that shit. He said, nah, I ain't
Yo,
going in there. I ain't
yo,
going in there,
yo,
baby.
Edwin, the live is cooking. Salute to you. Yo, I have to run real quick.
Yep.
But I'm gonna let you do your thing. I'm gonna let you
Absolutely.
salute to the chat. The chat is cooking too. You guys are doing the super chats. Y'all showing a lot of love.
Thank you, guys.
Much appreciated. And y'all keep this
Absolutely.
community flowing. Salute to Edwin holding it down.
Thank you, Koki. Absolutely. And to everybody that's tuning in and showing your support, thank you. Thank you for stopping by and showing your support for also boxing. Not only for Naoya Inoue, but for also boxing. And for allowing the boxing world to hear you. You know how the boxing world hears you? Your comments, your views, your likes, everything. Because how can I go to Ness's show when I only got 40 likes, 30 likes, 50 likes? How can I go to his show with that and say, the world is saying they love Naoya Inoue? You guys got to help me. You got to stop trying to be so cool in your head. Oh, in order to get my like, you're going to have to jump through hoops. Well, meanwhile, you think what? For every like, they give me $1 million? Shit. For 10,000 likes, they give me 10 cents. So, of course, it's not about the money for me. And nothing that I've ever earned on YouTube ever paid for any of this. So I do this out of my passion, my love for the sport. And I'm in it for boxing. That's why I'm in it. And help me. Help Naoya Inoue. And help your favorite fighter on the day you want him on this platform. And you're like, Edwin, help me promote my fighter. And I want these guys to give a like so that the world comes out to see your fighter so that it helps them be a better fighter. So help me. Help yourself. Help boxing. And help us stop these entities that are coming into boxing trying to take away our beloved sport. Fuck that. Who the fork and spoon do you think you are? I'm going to try to stop swearing. Use slicker ways to say things. Fork and spoon, right? All right. So, help me protect and save the integrity of boxing. We might not all agree. We might talk shit about our boxers, and I love it. That's what fighting's about. If your butt hurt, watch something else. Because we might say some shit here that might hurt your feelings. But let's keep it in boxing. And let's learn when our fellow brethren is in trouble, the other opponent or boxing, let's learn how to show them love. Let me teach you one more thing here tonight before I end this live stream. I want to leave you guys with one thing and a saying you're very probably familiar with. I once heard as a child, keep your friends close, but your enemy even closer. As a young man, I thought that actually meant to watch my enemies, my haters, the people that are plotting against me until I grew up. And on the day I grew up, someone said that very same saying to me. But that day, I received it different. On that day, I heard, keep your friends close, but your enemy even closer. And I asked myself, Edwin, who is your greatest enemy? And the answer was myself. Keep your friends close, but keep your greatest enemy even closer. I was my greatest enemy. I didn't need anybody to get me in trouble or to make bad decisions. I needed to check myself. I wanted to do some of these things, and I wanted to be out there. I had to check myself. And once I checked my greatest enemy and I kept him in line, it was like the saying said. My friends were there close to me to block bullshit from the rest of the world while I needed to heal. I needed to heal. And I needed to get right with myself, my greatest enemy. And once I knew where the fight was coming from, today I'm a bit more equipped to handle life. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Edwin. And here at Round One Sports Talk, we can talk about a lot of things. But the one thing I want to educate is boxing. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. You guys have been the best. Thank you for everybody that came up, showed their support, read off chats for me, knowing my old ass can't be seeing and shit, right? But I had fun. And I hope you did too. So if you like my channel, come back tomorrow night. We will be on around 5:30 and we will kick the show off again. So join me here at Round One Sports Talk. You guys have been amazing. Please give these videos a like. Show the boxing world we're supporting boxing and our favorite fighters. Fight fans, you guys have been amazing. Peace. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Miyagi. I see you. I'm gonna stick to thank you, brother from France. Yo, my man from France. I read your message. Much love from Philadelphia, Edwin. My man. Yo, that's right. Yo, you're knowledgeable. Your knowledge. Yo, your message is starting to fly now. Cheers, Edwin, Mr. Miyagi. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Peace.